Make a life for myself. Loading, strike with the lyrics like I'm bowling. Keep pushing on, keep rolling. Don't wanna listen, but I told him one more time. Your favorite MCs, bronze or silver. These raps here are golden. Cards on the table, there's no folding. Spit bars at the club, zoning. TikTok come to London, get ripped off. Man get pissed off when I start lift off. Sweet like flavors, cookie and biscuit. Round here, yeah, the bars I get rinsed off. Picked up myself, yo, every time I tripped up. Little petty the big rock. Yeah, my G's do everything mix up. Full circle, not everybody linked up. That's irrelevant, memory like an elephant. Keep it hard, but you know that it's elegant. Get mad, but always benevolent. Always moving up, just leveling. Constantly telling them rhyming, riddling. Cycle through these streets, I'm pedaling. Hibernating and boom, she's back again. Oh, cause a little fire on the track again. Turn the music up, vibe like an icon. Yeah, if you want buff, we can go psycho. Head to head, bar to bar, turn the mic on. Turn the music up, vibe like an icon. Yeah, I don't mind, I'll do it for the hell of it, yeah. Elevate bars, I regulate, yeah. UK, wheel up the tune, just meditate. Think that they get it by now, then they kinda late. Man thinks he's a bad man, but he's kinda bait. Live every day like it's my last, celebrate. Mind on the task, we calibrate. Loaded, strike with the lyrics like I'm bowling. Keep pushing on, keep rolling. Didn't wanna listen, but I told him. One more time, your favorite MCs, bronze or silver. Too bad these vibes here are golden. Cards on the table, there's no folding. Spit bars at the club, zoning. That's irrelevant, memory like an elephant. Keep it hard, but you know that it's elegant. Get mad, but always benevolent. Always moving up, just leveling. Constantly telling them rhyming, riddling. Cycle through these sheets, I'm pedaling. Hibernating them, boom, she's back again. Oh, cause the little fire on the track again. Turn the music on, vibe like an icon. Yeah, if you want buff, we can go psycho. Head to head, bar to bar, turn the mic on. Turn the music up, vibe like an icon. Who's the icon? Who's the icon? Icon. Who's the icon? Icon.
Been on it, jump on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling on speed out, they hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. Facade get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. I got a show where she dipping them nails. I'm flipping my L's, I know they can tell. I did it too major, they hit me for favors. Been him since the cable was cut in the cradle. What's up, only right that I do it. Colossal until I'm a boss, so they want me to fail. Look, we prevail. Jump on your tail. Know that they talking, they telling them tales. Just know how to tell, that for the sale. Hey, they talk like they got it, but they need to stop it. I'm leading with logic, my heartbeat is frosted. I seen it, got optics I needed from Charlotte. She mean with the top and it's obvious. They need him a target, I'm dodging their darts, make them reach for the stars. I'm dumping, I'm forcing the pun off the runs. I'm moving with caution, I'm saucing my nigga is nothing. From nothing to something they'll never be. Tycooning, I'm Dre with the thizzle face. I'm nothing my section has ever seen. Run the ice so I'm clutch, I don't need a screen. I'm Curry, I spit you from 30 deep. Do the pin in the pad like a surgery. She the curve at you just to flirt with me. Totally tucked out, but the jewels out. I just in a home with a full mouth. I'm a rare breed when the moon out. I'ma stop playing by the rules now. I been ran plays, need a new route. Queen said she need space in a new house. Mom told me that she pray for the kid every day. No wonder I'm getting paid for the tunes now. Hey, ass, bitch, I'm on the rail. I wrap it, I bag it, I pack it for sale. Got feeling, I speed out, I hit me to chill. I give it a thrill, I put it on film. This facade get applaud, that ain't real. Come to my section and flex, we can tell. Really outside with it. Run with it. Run with it. Run with it.
We're driving downtown, foot pushed on the pedal. Move through songs we play together. Feel like we're on holiday. I got a feeling it's a good day. We're driving downtown, foot pushed on the pedal. Move through songs we play together. Feel like we're on holiday. I got a feeling it's a good day. Downtown, foot pushed on the pedal. Move through songs we play together. Feel like we're on holiday. I got a feeling it's a good day. Let's go back to the days, down memory lane. Back to the times when our life was a breeze. Feel the freedom again, my mind was at ease. The sky was so blue when we rolled down the street. So, hey, I just wanna touch your vibe. I just wanna touch your vibe. Hey, I just want a good time, good time. Driving downtown, foot pushed on the pedal. Move through songs we play together. Feel like we're on holiday. I got a feeling it's a good day. We're driving downtown, foot pushed on the pedal. Move through songs we play together. Feel like we're on holiday. I got a feeling it's a good day.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Valorant Challengers Northeast Stage 1, where we are ready to head into our grand final today. The playoff stage has almost concluded, and what better way to cap it off than to welcome ourselves back to your screens. I'm Hazza, joined by Cairo once again, mate. It's always great to come back home. What else is there to be said?
Yeah, it's always great to see how the tier 2 system is going. Obviously, we've been keeping our eyes on everything that's been going on through the playoff bracket, and now we're finally at the summit of the mountain. But who will get there first, Hazza? We'll guess we'll see that by the end of today.
Yeah, look, that's what we're here to find out, right? Like the Watcher, we do not intervene, we simply observe. And taking a look at what we've seen so far, Cairo, yeah, I've been pretty impressed. I want to go straight to you though and ask, have there been any surprises for you so far, at least on the road to how we got here?
Yeah, I'd say probably my biggest surprise would be Team Liquid Academy winning in the upper bracket for me. I always thought that Enterprise would have edged it, but obviously how kickoff went and how split one has now gone, there's a little bit of differences within the rosters that we're seeing.
Yeah, there is. I believe we do have a bracket that can go ahead and show the journey that helped us to reach this point so far. And yeah, here it is, right? It's slightly cut off in the top corner, but there you go. Enterprise moving through into uppers with Liquid Academy into that upper final. But then the best of three, Liquid Academy winning and ending a win streak for Enterprise, which had been built up since the end of last year with a different roster.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? Like, Enterprise have looked very, very strong, and for them, like, obviously we've seen them play in other tournaments outside of Northeast, and they've proven their quality there as well. So the fact that they fell to a Team Liquid Academy that always seems to be on the rise, that's the big thing. They always learn from their mistakes. That's what Academy rosters should do. A couple of superstars in there, but can those superstars carry them to a win in this grand final and the rematch against Enterprise?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to find out. A couple of other names in there like Pixel Lumina, MIR starting to really push for making a name for themselves regionally, right? We've still seen that in Challengers EMEA, Northeast has retained the 4 spots as it did last year. So it'll be interesting to see how exactly they stack up by the time we get to that competition, which is happening later this month after Masters has concluded, of course. So like you say, look, it's been really interesting to see them go blow for blow. And I think we do have the regional authority somewhat ironed out here, but of course we do have to crown a champion today. And with that, let's introduce the matchup and get into the team specifically. It is Team Liquid Academy versus Enterprise Esports, of course, Cairo. So I think why not start on the Liquid Academy side, because this is, as you say, paving the way for the future of a Liquid team. And I think if you're the Liquid Academy boys right now, you're looking at that roster and you're saying, you know what, I could see myself there soon.
Yeah, 100%, especially, like, I mean, they did reach Masters Santiago. We can see that there's with the main roster, there's something brewing there, but are they missing a final piece? Are they missing, say, for instance, an initiator? Or maybe even someone else, right? You can go and see these boys proving themselves, and everybody already knows if we can see the roster, like, how good, like, some of these superstars, some of these young kids that are coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we have a few more established names there as well if we just get a look at the Liquid Academy roster. Like Kix, for example, who had his time on Vitality last year. Done him dirty without the photo there, but he even played for the Liquid main roster as a sub before Wayne played his first game earlier this year in kickoff as he was just getting climatized to EMEA. GSR's the one that stands out, of course, second for ACS at this point in time within the region, highest rated player overall. Rex Toned as well, Wanzeru had a bit of time on FMG last year and led by Pretty, who has been to a grand final or two in the past.
Yeah, Pretty is definitely a great leader, but it's that core of young talent of Rex, Wanzeru and GSR. I think the thing is though, Rex is one that I think is quite underrated, never got his chance at VCT this year, is 18, but keeps like proving himself time and time again, and would love to be able to see him actually, you know, go and get that opportunity. Wanzeru as well has been a revelation since he's joined Liquid Academy.
Yeah, these are players that deserve to be talked about in great lengths, but we do have to move over to Enterprise, of course, and stress the details of what is a team lined with talent and with considerably more experience on the whole, I would say, than this Liquid Academy roster, at least towards the upper levels of Tier 2 and then punching through into VCT as well.
Yeah, I think the thing is here is you look at Lime, Magnum, Prox, Alluri, they've been to the upper stages of Tier 2, they've been to Ascension Grand Finals, and they've been into VCT. So yeah, I think like the roster there as a whole looks great, but it's Causey who have a big question mark on here, Hazza.
Yeah, I suppose so, right? This is new territory for Causey, but we've already had a taste of how good he can be. Yeah. Only 16 years old, didn't play the start of this stage because he was ineligible to compete in challengers. For all the conversations we have about players not being VCT ready, he is only just now making his debut, but having led this roster to a win at EMEA Clash, beating 3 VCT teams along the way and him starring in the show for a few of those results, I think you have to be excited about the potential here, and it's not like this is a player which is low on confidence either. I mentioned ACS earlier, he is leading just above GSR, so it's those two that we're really focused on today, at least when it comes to future stars.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm really excited to see how that matchup kind of plays out. Obviously GSR, he's been here before, he's been here at least another 3-4 times, Hazza, so he understands what it takes to kind of go and win a grand final. As for Causey, he has won a grand final, I guess, in that EMEA Clash, but not a best of 5.
No, he hasn't. And before we dive into this one, we do have some clips from both of the teams to be taking a look at, and we can just wax lyrical over the top of these. But maybe people haven't seen them, right? Because we haven't had broadcasts so far for Northeast this year. I mean, look at this from Rex, right? The display of individual skill is just ridiculous. And I mean, anyone on Liquid, anyone on Enterprise can do that to you.
Yeah, and this one's against Enterprise as well. So this is the worrying signs that Enterprise need to be careful of. And that's the other big thing we've got to consider here, because Team Liquid Academy won that upper bracket. They do get a double ban when we get to veto.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to be a huge difference maker. Magnum knowing his way around a North Grand Final, of course. He was part of the first Apex team that we saw in this Challengers region, the legendary one, which went on to the first of the 2 Grand Finals and set up a record which Enterprise will be hoping to try and level today, Cairo. 4 titles within the region. If you can include the kickoff result, Enterprise will finally have matched that after being active, very since the beginning, the inceptions of East way back when.
Yeah, and I think Magnum's a really big part of this roster as well, just in terms of his knowledge of the game, the fact that he was an IGL on that KC roster. He'll be a very loud voice within the team for sure.
And sometimes that's what you need a little bit of, right? Multiple voices being able to call within the team, not just relying on one person for set plans, something which in the past, I think, we've been a little critical of Alluri, especially on that attack side. Magnum's someone who can really drive the macro, especially through his own positioning as a sentinel a lot of the time. If you are on those lurks, it's really crucial information. But moving on to some of the more crucial information when it comes to how this series ends up going, I believe that we do have the map veto ready, Cairo, so quick prediction from you, at least where you expect this one to go. Of course, Liquid do have that double ban heading in.
Yeah, I'm thinking Bind would get banned out straight away, honestly, off the top of my head, just because Enterprise are so good on it. We saw it so many times on that Clash event. As for where I could see it going, I mean, Corrode is definitely a pick for Team Liquid Academy, just after we saw that even the scoreline just there in that kind of replay package.
Yeah, right, they're undefeated on this map so far in the first stage. 7 wins, 0 losses, and Enterprise taking one of those hits along the road. Not so bad for them themselves. We know that they can compete there, but it does feel like, at least leading into this, that double ban advantage feels like quite a lot. You've also got to keep in mind, Cairo, that Enterprise had to play an additional best of 3 yesterday as well. In that lower final, they were in a pretty strong position for it because there was another lower round game taking place before then, Pixel Lumina MIR. But let's see how they've been able to reset and what Liquid actually end up going for here, starting with Abyss.
Yeah, the Abyss ban, that's fair enough. Enterprise also used that a lot in Clash. As for the next one, it will be that Bind ban that I thought would happen. I mean, I imagine you probably would agree with that, just because of these are 2 big Clash maps for Enterprise.
True, right? But I think the Clash conversation has to come in this from a different angle as well. Enterprise, off the back of that, they did lose the first series to Team Liquid Academy, so it can be difficult to keep momentum up and continue to build steam throughout what is a much more challenging calendar for the Tier 2 teams this year. Split is going to be the first pick of Enterprise here, as I assume they would have been Team A in the veto process. So, yeah, at the very least, they're going to be going onto a map which, when you look at their own record there, it is 5-1 as things stand.
Yeah, then straight in with Corrode and Haven. 3 very momentum-based maps, it has to be said. So
yeah,
whoever can get themselves started off right on halves will really find themselves in a good position. So for the last 2, I guess at least one even-based map. I imagine that for one of them, that would be Pearl up next. I thought it would have been in the decider, but Pearl up next, yeah, that's an even one. And I think that will be probably, if we end up going the distance, the real decider between these 2.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that that's the way that the veto ends up working out. I understand why Liquid Academy want to go for Pearl, though. Their roster, which they had last year, was very good on this as well. We saw them play quite a bit of it in Blender, if you call your mind back to the off-season, when they were playing with Mystic. And actually, they had Prox on their own team. He's now defected for Enterprise. Didn't want to take that offer, I suppose. So, yeah, I mean, now with the veto in mind, Cairo, how are you feeling about this? Because I know you mentioned the bind ban there, but I find that one kind of interesting. I think Enterprise probably not going to be too annoyed with that. When you look at their record this stage, I know you mentioned Clash, but they're 3-4, so actually they do have a negative win rate overall there.
Yeah, they do have a negative win rate. I guess like it might just be also the fact that Team Liquid Academy view that as a weakness to their own game, right? Like, oh, Enterprise, they're somewhat competent. We're not even like remotely. So let's just get it out the way and kind of focus on maps that are like more in our favour. I find that the very start of this veto so interesting, right? Split, obviously, is Enterprise's pick. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, yeah, the map's been a little bit more even, but there is still that possibility of real steamrolly halves, right? We saw it last night in the BBL game. Like, it still comes back around, and if you mess up, you have a bad start, it could be a really tough veto for you.
Yeah, I mean, cast your mind back to the GX game that we got from Enterprise on this map. They played Split there. That was 13-2. Pearl was 13-1, but Split had a 10-2 defensive half from them. And I would just have to call my mind back to which side they're actually starting on here. I think they might be, well, I'm guessing if it was picked by Enterprise, then it'll be Team Liquid Academy on the defense to start. But it kind of depends where they want to go with it. Yeah, okay, all right then. Well, yeah, look, I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I guess we really will. And then split, what do you call it, from there onto Corrode. So it goes from one like kind of alright defender-sided map into the probably most defender-sided map that we have and the current map pool. So yeah, again, it's another one where if you trip up, that could ruin how things look, and you're fighting to get back into this one.
Yeah, I'm interested to see really how Enterprise start here, how both teams start, honestly, because when you look at the composition that Enterprise have been running, you know, what it is that they've been bringing map to map, they've been playing quite a bit of the Teho Waylay, they've been playing, you know, Kozi on solo duelist on a few of these maps. So the question on my mind is basically, are they going to get a hot start, or is it going to take a little bit of time? You know, that GX series that I just mentioned did start with a pretty crushing loss on the opening map. I believe it was, what, 13-6? Yeah, 13-6 on Haven. That is coming in at map number 3. So it's a process, isn't it? You know, this is a best of 5 environment as well. That's something else that we've got to mention here. It's a 5th meeting between the two teams. They've got one series win each in a best of 3 and a best of 5. The most recent best of 5 win, though, of course, does go to Enterprise in kickoff. So do they still have a deep map pool? Have Liquid made those improvements? Questions that will be answered very soon.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing that's going to be going through the minds of the players, right? Especially with Enterprise, like starting Kozi. I mean, I imagine for him, he probably won't bother him. He's like, oh, I've already won a grand final. I don't really need to worry about anything else. I think for Team Liquid Academy, though, do you think they feel any pressure at all? Like, you know, a new roster looking to prove itself?
A little bit, but when you actually look at the players here, I think there are only two that stand out to me as ones to watch in terms of what the performance looks like. That would probably be Wanzeru and Pretty, because those are the two that I can't say that I've seen, you know, in these situations before. Neither of them have a challenger's title as it stands. For Pretty, I've already mentioned it earlier, this is going to be his third grand final. We know that the last time we saw him here, lost over 5 maps to Enterprise. That gave them their first title, and now he's lining up against them again, not for zero tenacity, but he's been active for so long, and as an in-game leader, it can feel really difficult to prove yourself at times. He has, you know, a great set of credentials behind him, lots of people who back his calling, but up against Alluri, someone who has won multiple titles in DAC and now in Northeast as well, it's a real test of character, for sure.
Well, first off, straight into Agent Select to see exactly what these two are playing. We're going to get Enterprise with the Euro Whaley, Mosquito Comp with Tejo, and Liquid Academy has they're going for a Euro Raise, which is quite, I guess, different to what other teams play.
Yeah, I suppose so, right? It's just the standard Paper X comp that we've seen a lot of teams play back over the last year or so. So Enterprise with a slightly newer read on the meta, I suppose. Liquid with a dated one, but one which ultimately performs more consistently, I would say. If you've been tuning into the Masters games, Paper X do look like the best team in the competition on this map at the moment, and they do run the exact same comp. GSR's learned the Euro over the last year or so. That's been a huge addition to his arsenal.
Yeah, I think like the fact that we are starting to see GSR move in towards that double duelist role and show his flexibility just shows you the value that he can possibly have for a potential step up. But we are a fair few years away from that, to be honest. He's still quite a young player in that ilk. But with that being said, Hazza, we're just about ready to head into this grand final.
Yes, we are. Only a couple of deviations in terms of composition, but really excited to see what we get here. Old versus the new in terms of the agents that have been brought forward. But when it comes down to the performance, are we going to see a changing of the guard, or do Enterprise have what it takes to really assert some regional dominance heading into the latter stages of this year, Cairo, where we can potentially see them face further VCT opponents and pave a road to champions?
Yeah, exactly. Enterprise fallen to tier 2 opponents. The fact that they've went and proven themselves against the best of the best, and how this year looks with tier 2 now being involved in tier 1 and that split 2, that chance at champions. A slim one, sure, but one that Enterprise will be building towards, and this is another step on that path.
Players in this team have said it time and time again. Look, we are not here to take part. When it comes to the end of the year, we know that we're better than some of these VCT teams, and we expect to be fighting for a playoff place, and that's ultimately what the end goal will be. But it's one step at a time, and these Liquid players know that well. Kix, for example, dropping down from VCT this year, having a lot to prove, not just to himself, but to everyone else watching. GSR, a young talent, but still the burden on his shoulders coming into this game of the fact that, you know, nothing is granted in esports. It can all change in the matter of a day's time, and another title would mean a lot to him, as it would to some of the members on this roster who are yet to lift a regional accolade, Cairo. There is plenty to be fighting for on both sides here, and I can't wait to dive into this grand final.
Yeah, I really can't wait either, because when it comes to these two, the history within the server, the history that's been played out, this is a big best of 5 to come out.
Absolutely, and with Apex win streak records safe for another stage, Enterprise will try and match their titles today with another grand final win. Liquid were the ones who broke that streak of games, and they will have to do it again here to conquer the mountain for a second time in their history.
Yeah, it's been a tough climb, one with trials and tribulations. Can Team Liquid Academy repeat the feat that they did last year with a bounce back and straight away into a title? Or will Enterprise show the fact that they are the Titans of Northeast? We'll find out as the barriers drop.
Liquid Academy starting out on the attack side. They picked to begin here. The double duelist typically better on the defense, at least with the current state of Yoru. It is the Raze player with the first step forward though, and Magnum has shut down Wanzeru in mid. Chip damage has been traded, Paranoia in towards tower, but it's Vents where Liquid look to lay their hat. GSR finding one back. And Alluri on the re-clear, finding further success. Kozi combining with him, wrecks a couple back. Scrappy start to the grand final, but a 2-on-2 when the dust settles.
Yeah, but the quick decision making to go straight towards A is what's going to benefit Team Liquid Academy so well. Now they have the advantage in the post plant, and Enterprise have so much to clear.
Rex down to 33 points of health, but a Sheriff in hand could quickly wipe Magnum off the board. TP up for a reposition, so GSR takes first contact. Rex smoked off, so no way to support the youngster, but he won't need it. Yet again showing how capable he is in these situations. Prox flying the flag for the mates in the 1v2 here, as he has beaten many a VCT team since his exile from Tier 1. But Liquid Academy are looking the better to start this one off, the pistol under their belt.
Yeah, it was a nice re-clear through mid that we saw from Enterprise, trying to challenge what Team Liquid Academy were doing through mid, but the pressure was enough to be put on the fact that they thought it was going to be a B play, and suddenly all the positions of the players for Enterprise was completely caught off. Nice rotation on towards the A side, very well played.
Time to jump.
And a strong start for Liquid Academy is exactly what they will be looking for here. We already mentioned it on the desk, but there are a couple players here without titles in the lineup. The only one on Enterprise would be Kozi, but again, if you count that kickoff win, then he's already been there, done that. Even looking at Clash, steps beyond that, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like this from Enterprise, being proactive through the mains already, clearing things out. So this eco round could get a bit interesting for Enterprise if they're quick enough.
Depends how much work Prox can do on site and how long it takes for Liquid to clear this out. One of the main differences in comp is, of course, the fade versus the Teho, and how good that re-clear is going to look. It's forced Enterprise to really get their detective hats on here, and starting to chip away just a little bit. Kozi has found one, and GSR is down to 20. He will also drop, but other than that, not too many issues here for Liquid Academy, breezing past that second round.
Yeah, I think like the initiate conversation is going to be a big one when we maybe get to a timeout between these two, and how useful it is on either side, right? But I think the big thing is coming out of that last round was it was two pistols brought in by Team Liquid Academy. Those pistols plus the rifles brought through. So this bonus round now looks a little bit more dangerous for Enterprise.
It also looks like they're going to be playing a default with GSR on the Outlaw here too, looking for an opening pick. You can see Enterprise trying to work the space with this double duelist. Synergy built up between Lime and Kozi under his wing. Starting to explore towards A. It would be a 2v2 if they take it.
Looks like they want to. Magnum no under pressure through mid, and that's a nice reveal in towards GSR, getting the trade, but Kozi absolutely huge and confirming an advantage for the defense.
Great supportive utility from Alluri there. Kozi winning the first head-to-head between the Starlets in the server. And Enterprise with numbers, but it's only Kozi towards A right now guarding this.
Yeah, I think he's just seen an elbow, so that's why he's dropping off. No one here to support, so all alone.
Liquid scaling up quickly. Kozi's got a lot of work to do.
Oh, and he's done it so well. Nice couple of heads taken and spike down. This should be the round for Enterprise if Kix doesn't get an opportunity. It seems as if he's trapped in the corner though, with no way out. Oh, he's got a way out.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, no, he can head towards ramp here, but the problem is the spike that sits at the feet of the Liquid players. Kozi has not let anything past him so far. Not quite able to confirm it there. But you don't fancy Kix to have a chance, not with 13 seconds left.
Definitely not. And with that smoke down and time beginning to tick away, Kix will be looking to try and at least get one more. Nearly gets it, but at least gets an ultimate orb in his back pocket because he has a buy in the next one. So it was nicely done by Kozi, a nice little hold, but he was all alone. That was actually like a real weakness towards the Enterprise setup. Team Liquid Academy don't know it just because of how good Kozi is at shooting his rifle.
Yeah. You can see what the idea was there, though, from the defense, and I am liking that they want to show us a more proactive side to this A-hold. especially with Liquid having their own Viper wall up, of course, trying to get an insert there, as you so often do on split attack side, a map which has leaned a little more biased towards this half as of late. The reason why Liquid opt to start there, GSR just slicing through the whole site. He doesn't realize that there's a player right behind him though. Lime is here on the opposite side of the smoke, the clone finally revealing his position, and as GSR circles in, he does get first blood.
Yeah, but look at Team Liquid Academy, they're still taking their time to try and approach this back site.
Two bodies, it's Alluri and Kozzy again, once more combining. Kozzy at the double, and he'll make it 3 before the round concludes. 2-all, an early equalizer from Enterprise.
I mean, GSR makes a mistake on the clear, thinking that, hey guys, there's only 2 here, we can attack the site. And for the most part, Team Liquid Academy do well. Look at this minimap right now and the state of it. They had surrounded the site. It's just Kozzy and Alluri holding things down and doing so well. 8 and 2 for the duelist. That's mental.
You were talking about pressure on the desk in the build-up. A point that I was going to raise is that I think sometimes for these kids, you know, when you've not experienced playing on that stage yet and everything's an online environment, it almost suits you a little bit better.
Yeah.
Harder to really picture the problems until they slap you in the face. And, well, there is one. GSR opening kill onto Prox. Not the first time he's been the sole anchor of B. And Liquid have an opportunity to bring this into post-plant.
Yeah, it's a bandit and 4 rifles, 4 pit sheriffs, sorry. And yeah, these sheriffs are starting to really hit. Spike goes down. Team Liquid Academy rescued a rifle there, I'm pretty sure.
Kozzy refracts active, looking to try and make something happen, as he has been able to so far. That's one picked up, but Wanzeru won't have been spotted on the reposition. Convergent paths coming in, and Kozzy clears house. Wanzeru, the only player left, like I said, unconsidered for the time being. But there gets to a point when you start to realize, and he can't make an opportunity of that half chance happen. So Enterprise back in front and back to winning ways.
I mean, I don't even know what there is to say, Hazza. Kozzy looks unbelievable at the start of this map. And the thing is about Kozzy is, we've already mentioned it, right? A player who, coming into this like season, he was ineligible for the start, and that's for challengers, right? He was a 16-year-old prospect picked up from ranked, and the fact that Enterprise believed in him so much, before they've even been able to see him in an official, just goes to show how good this kid is.
It's the players around him as well, right? You use that as the confirmation bias. If Magnum, with the time that he spent in Tier 1 international events even, is signing off on the quality, then absolutely no reason to doubt it. Once again, looking to get in and amongst it. There's an op line behind this on Lime, so Kozzy is inviting that first contact. It's the TP peek for info that has spotted Pretty here.
Kozzy has the space, so we're seeing already Pretty starting to back off. Team Liquid Academy moving elsewhere through mid that they go, and they've actually got a clear runway towards challenging A.
Gotta jump through a couple of hoops though. Vents not exactly clear for the time being, and Enterprise want to try and compress and compound this position a little bit. Lime goes in, Wanzeru only getting 1, and Pretty on the back pedal, can't support on the other side of the smoke. Down by a member as it stands, and Rex hasn't started to really gain all too much ground on A as it stands.
Player standing.
Still an even trade, so it's Rex to come back into a 1 versus 2, but that's Spike in Enterprise favour. And look how far back Kozzy is. That re-clear with Alluri close is going to be so difficult.
Does have a molly to try and work with, but Rex just whizzes the bullets over the brain of Kozzy, and so 4 rounds to 2 now. Enterprise really putting Liquid Academy through their paces here. You start to wonder when it is time for a pause, and as I say it, Bacon involves himself for the first time in this grand final.
Yeah, I think the big thing about this matchup so far is Enterprise. They feel as if they've got the energy coming into this straight away. I think Kozzy is very good at that. 13 and 2, you can see how he would boost the rest of the team. But it feels as if they're so much more awake than Team Liquid Academy at the moment. And I understand this is an Enterprise pick, but Team Liquid Academy need to shake off any rust they may have had from an early morning start, because this could go out of control before they even realise it.
Yeah. at least from the early signs on the Enterprise side, it is looking very good for them. And when we look back to the historical names that have come out of this region in the duelist slot, Kiko, Kayak, to name a few, it's in these big games where you remember some of their best performances. I'm thinking Kiko versus Focus in back-to-back grand finals. I'm thinking Kayak against Sweet and Sour a couple of times over the year. That's now where we look to see if we can get Liquid's best. You can already note that GSR seems to be up for the fight, but it's a team effort, and so they will hit 5 bodies strong towards the A site.
Yeah, rifles in hand. Oh, what? A drone to take off the ulti and also get the kill? This execute could be done already.
Yeah, it looks like GSR was able to get behind the lines here just a little bit. He's going to catch Kozzy sleeping. A rare moment so far in the series, but Alheim has already racked up 3, and it leaves only Kicks to try and dissolve the situation, which he can't. Enterprise out the back of the timeout with a harsh A-site hold.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking for Team Liquid Academy. They've turned around and went, right guys, come on, we're Team Liquid Academy. We can sit and hit this site. But it's the early utility, the timing of it, unbelievable. The fact as soon as that raise is being seen, the drone pops and then there's the peak. Yeah, it's so nice. And it's simple stuff, but it just shows you how well integrated this team is and playing off one another.
Very well executed, like you say, and I think if there are any positive signs to take away from that for Liquid, it's just the approach. Looked a lot better with Wanzeru trying to actively play in, and GSR also following that up. That's what this double dive is all about.
Oh.
Not gonna have any good graces at the start of the eco, of course. No quick picks from the Sheriff to unlock an opening this time around.
Yeah, and trying to brawl your way through mid probably won't help you either, considering Kozzy and Magnum's here. It's actually Kozzy taking contact.
Yeah, just shouldering the angle, has the hinder, knows that at the drop of a pin, he can pull the pin on his own utility, and Illuri following it up with salvos as well is just the added security for Enterprise. 6-2 now the half. If Liquid aren't able to pick this one up, they'll be on another bad buy. The cycle shall continue, Cairo.
Yeah.
Something has got to change.
Yeah, it does. Even at post-timeout, the fact that things are still going so wrong, and I think the other aspect to this, just to highlight, the last time Team Liquid got a plant in probably would have been round 5, so 3 rounds ago, so the money is really suffering for this attack. And it's a double-dimensional drift, one from either side. And this is a nice set play.
Oh, Lime just feasting off the back of it, jumping up, trying to force the barrel down into sewers, but didn't work on the movement. Magnum's already here in middle, and Enterprise are just weaving a web around Liquid, completely constricting them and cutting off the life support. GSR walks into a 1v3 with plenty of time, but no support and no real information, no spike.
I just find it interesting. Why is the spike over here all by itself? I understand they could be like trying to fake towards the A side, but yeah, I don't know. It feels a bit desperate if a spike's going out solo towards the B side of the map. Enterprise just maybe have a full grip on what's going on and understanding how this map's going to be played out.
It did look to me, at least, on the barriers, the call was for Liquid to go for that same A hit again, but then a bit of a change up in what the play ended up being. Pretty picked up the spike and started moving towards B. Wanted to maybe create a little bit of pressure and then go back to a site execution. That's what you've got to do against this Enterprise comp. Bait out some of that early utility. Otherwise, this dive is going to struggle most of the time. Of course, when you've got a showstopper, you'd feel like it's the exception. When it gets snatched out of your hands mid-air,
yeah,
then it does feel a little bit different.
Yeah, It feels like every single time Team Liquid Academy tries something, it feels like Enterprise are a step or two ahead as well. Just reading into the game plan, perhaps maybe have done some work from the series last night, or just the fact that like they've been preparing for playing against Team Liquid Academy, and this is a second timeout that is being brought through. Bacon just seriously not happy with the position that they're in.
No. And you wouldn't be, because it's one thing to have 2 rounds at this stage in the half, it's another when that's the pistol and anti-eco. Haven't seen the results in the rifles so far. And it's been quite commonplace recently. You've seen it a lot of Masters as well, for teams to call both timeouts, especially in the same half. If you're on the side which you would feel favored, this is Enterprise's pick, with Liquid having double ban advantage, so naturally it's Enterprise's best foot forward in the series, but also they get to pick the side. And yeah, with a couple of bad apples already taken out of the veto process, this is not what you want to see. This is not the way that this one should be starting for them.
Definitely not. Team Liquid Academy got to choose the side that they started on as well here.
Yeah.
They fancied themselves on the attack. They fancied themselves coming into this map. I just find it's just a bit tough, the fact that they've started things off with momentum firmly against them, and perhaps it's what we said, right? That defender bias creeping back up on split.
I mean, throughout the run in the group stage and up until this point, Liquid Academy have only lost 1 map so far this stage, and it was Abyss. That got banned out instantly. Everything else in the rest of this veto is undefeated for them, but at some point you've got to win one. And Split naturally does find itself in that bracket for the 2 times that they've played it.
Portal closed.
GSR almost solo defaulting here as Rex has dropped back a little bit, but between this power pairing, they do start to investigate ramp now.
Yeah, but Magnum's holding it down. Nearly does well to get the second, but unfortunately it's Viper for Yoru, and that's an actual decent trade up for Team Liquid Academy. That hold pressure no longer there through the Viper wall.
Yeah. And all of this mid-control now just making that even better for them. The one exception is the fact that Kozzy has managed to clear out all of Garage, all of B main. And so now a rotation called, and Enterprise with plenty of red shirts to defend this A site again.
Yeah, they've all bunkered down and ready to go. Lime does have the operator and watching vigilantly on towards heaven, and even catches 1-0. The ult not hitting, so if the players try to come out of this smoke, it's going to be a disaster. 15 seconds remaining as the players try to get back in. Alluri holding things down. Enterprise have this map so well read, how proactive the defense is. Team Liquid Academy, they're so slow in comparison.
Yeah, Liquid trading out on that first blood. You feel like they had a huge opportunity here, but the A-site read from Enterprise is spot on. I've been really impressed with their defender-sided macro so far. Again, it's important to repeat that I think some of the issues for them did pop up on the attack side, but when Kozzy is making the right individual decisions there, as the youngster clearing out space and really helping support the rest of the team, you've got to feel confident, and you can see it again here. Kozzy nails the shot onto GSR right between his eyes. No backing down, no surrendering from the defender's side. Finally, Magnum forced to retrace his steps just a little bit here, but they've completely covered over the mid-control. Re-challenge coming in from Liquid, but Lime lining 3 up, and Kozzy's op is right behind it. Flawless for Enterprise to make it 9 on the half with 1 round left to play.
Only 1 round to hit double digits, and this could be the game done already with a pistol round win for Enterprise. Sure, we've seen it before, we've seen Split go this way. The fact that the switch of the sides can sometimes be beneficial for teams. But for this moment in time, Team Liquid Academy, they have eyes on the B site.
Liquid Academy's composition is a lot more simplified than Enterprise, but if played effectively, it does feel like there is a really high ceiling on what we've seen from the current reigning champions of the region.
Cover going out.
Liquid starting to look towards B here. Haven't seen them execute fully out of Garage since the start of this map, but it might be what they need for a turn of fortune. Final opportunity now to get another round.
Yeah, trying to get that Viper's pit down, that would be the real success story here. But still, Team Liquid Academy find themselves stalling out, and that's given time for Enterprise to rotate in. The utility once again, unbelievable. And the shots even better as Corrode doubles up and stops any sort of execution. Team Liquid Academy do not look like themselves, and Enterprise look like the titans of the region so far.
Such an impressive display of individual mechanics from Corrode again, supported by the rest of the team. Plucks a gliding Wanzeru out of the air to put a cap on a double-digit first half. We'll have to see if Liquid can respond in this grand final in the second.
And well, it is a mountain that Team Liquid Academy have climbed, but it's another mountain they'll have to try and summit here against Enterprise, as they are on double digits from the first half, and as so far, Team Liquid Academy have not looked like themselves.
Really hanging off the olive branch with just 2 rounds. The pistol would be a foothold for them. As you say, they are looking up at the mountain in front of them. He's still yet to scale it. And Enterprise already start to make signs towards this A site, as they should be taking it without a casualty. Lime down to 8 HP.
Yeah, and so far, Team Liquid Academy still not, Enterprise still not getting that spike down, as the players of Team Liquid Academy try and fight forward. It's successful for the most part, but it is going to trade out even, with Team Liquid Academy just edging it towards the last engagement. That spike's still not down. Enterprise looking to try and be proactive, look for another kill, not going to happen, and now everybody looking to try and collapse on Corrode. Well, he's good, he can't be that good. And Team Liquid Academy answers straight back with a pistol round.
Yeah, not given a chance to flourish against the armor of Pretty in Heaven there. Still hit the headshot, but Enterprise understanding they needed a little bit more space. They needed that kill in the 2 versus 3. Couldn't find a way to make it work. Corrode only just registering his 4th death, but as you can see here, the attack side aren't going to go for a force buy. They want to make sure that they get the best possible purchase in round number 3. If Liquid end up with, what, double pistol and only 4 or 5 rounds, it's going to be a crazy way to start this final.
Yeah, that would be mad. Although 1-0, oh, a nice couple kills on the judge, but that does get handed over. And with the way the split works, the geometry of the map, that's a little bit worrying.
Could be. It's Corrode that's picked it up. He's still healthy, but there's none of that movement utility that really gets you worried. He's already expended the refract that he had. And Enterprise are quite happy to sit on this space, knowing that it creates a lot of passive pressure, but Now focused on screens, GSR is here, scoped in.
Yes, but the players of Enterprise, finally they come and challenge. Only 2 bullets, but 1 shot. So with 3 targets there, they really start to bear on down on this site. So buying space through the tail, Causey actually really softening up these opponents, which allows Alluri to come in. Well, you think there's a chance? There is absolutely none. Team Liquid Academy win the round.
Yeah, that is a little bit ridiculous that Liquids do still get away with 4 alive there. They're going to be very happy with how the round concluded all in. But this one is the kicker. If Liquid can convert the bonus round here, then Enterprise should start to be getting a little bit worried because that gap can quickly close. A full purchase in front of them though, and not rushing to make any moves on the map as it looks for the time being. Both duelists focused in on mid though. This will be imperative control for their success.
Oh, Rex already seen by Lame, 1-0, looking to take up a different position. So the Enterprise, the fact that they've put this pressure on already, you could argue is enough.
Some of these utility timing is going to be so important as well. 1-0, most crucially, has banked his nade and is yet to use it. Rex forced into a reposition, but still gets a good timing on the molly hit.
Nice position for Causey, but unfortunately, facing up against 2 is not enough. At least Magnum does trade out onto GSR, but while all this has been going on, Magnum has decided to start to scale towards A. The thing he needs to be careful of is Kix is behind him.
Yeah, Kix has realised that there's a possibility for Magnum to have slipped the net, and the timing could not be any better for the Czech. With that being said, Kix in the meantime has managed to get right behind enemy lines, and well, Enterprise are none the wiser.
Oh, Kix. The trigger discipline, excellent, but does he realise there's one more close? He should have. After the jump, Prox does take damage because of that. So with Spike down, the players need to get a move on and hit the site. But it seems as if there's a decision elsewhere.
Yeah, with 20 seconds left, this is a huge call from Prox to rotate towards B. After we had a bit of a Mixwell-Nats icebox moment there, players flanking on either side. Down to the 2-on-2. Just enough time to get the spike in on B, but Liquid Academy have the health advantage here in the bonus they desperately need.
Thing is though, in this post plan, you've got to be looking at Prox having the paranoia to hold things down. While the health advantage is Team Liquid Academy's, the time advantage is Enterprise as it continues to tick down and down. So much to clear as Team Liquid Academy come in, and they do not want to take their time here. That paranoia is perfect, and Magnum's capitalised off the back of it. It's up to Rex Tones now. I mean, oh, he's good for a clutch. Can he be good here? Time working against him, and it seems as if Prox has played this to perfection. It will be 11 for Enterprise. Everybody expended. But the most important thing is the round win.
And Enterprise will only need a couple more of those, and they are home and dry on their opening pick of Split. Liquid coming from the upper bracket, of course. We've said it a couple times now, but the veto tailored towards them, at least after this one. The record still unmarked as far as they're concerned. Yet to lose a map in this veto in the stage up until this point. But Rex does really good damage there, and GSR's Outlaw purchase reflects it. Isn't a target that he can take in one bullet, but it's about sending a message, perhaps.
It is, and you can see GSR trying to be proactive, does get Magnum, and that's going to be a big point to this round so far. We'll get to that in a minute as Enterprise look to try and challenge Kix in mid, but he's able to escape. Alluri with a big double kill, and that B side of the map is open.
Huge impact. Look at the quick reposition from Pretty. Slots into B main, now can find an angle to hold this.
A little off angle, does he get cleared? Enterprise all looking towards CT, but finally they switch towards Pretty. This could be Enterprise on for 12. Spike to go down, a player still in heaven. That's Causey. He's looking to be the one that catches him off guard as GSR rotates all the way to the other side. It's up to Kix now all alone. And at this point in time, with the health so low, I start to favour Enterprise here. A body to the good, and make that 2 bodies to the good. GSR with just an outlaw now to try and rotate back in. Already seen, already won. Enterprise have map point.
Yeah, GSR forced to take the TP to get out of dodge there. He was worried that a second player would be swinging off the drone and then sent scrambling back towards the B site. It was irrecoverable. Brilliant start to the round for Liquid. They were 2 players to the good, but Illuri finds a massive double, posting that eviction notice into the tower block, and very soon Liquid could be kicked out of this first map on what otherwise was a clean sheet for them coming into this series.
Causey, I mean, you look at this, Team Liquid Academy have absolutely vacated mid, and depending on which way Enterprise decide to go, this could very easily be a very easy round for them, a very easy post plan.
And GSR does give away 1 step there. Illuri keeping tabs on it as the Euro TP's back. Actually, Enterprise were really reading into this.
For a minute, a Prowler just caught Magnum. I was wondering if there was going to be a rotate off the back of it, but so far there isn't.
Yeah, jump spot from Pretty doesn't quite fully clear the corner. Forced to step back, and with the Paranoia released, Illuri's already found 2 and procs the next. If Magnum wins this duel, that might just be it for Split. It's looking likely. Kicks bearing down on a 1 versus 4. Blinded and very soon dead. He spotted procs, but the rest of Enterprise have now spotted kicks. He finds the first engagement, but there's still so much in front. And for all of the 4K clutches he's been good for in this run, this one is out of the ballpark. 13-4 Enterprise. They take home the opening map in this grand final.
Yeah, it's a fantastic result for Enterprise. Every single one of those players showed up, Hazza. Every single one of them looked excellent. And I have to tell you right now, if this series goes the way that I think it's going to go, this could be a very quick morning, afternoon for all of us, because Enterprise is their pick next, and Team Liquid Academy need to beware. They need to wake up.
Yeah, they do. I mean, as you just sort of mentioned there, I think this can very quickly get better for Liquid Academy. They have their own map pick next. We started on Enterprise's map pick of Split. They're going into Corrode. I've mentioned that the veto was undefeated for them, but your 7-0 map pick, where you've had 2 bans already, has to be the absolute favorite for you to get on the board. If Corrode doesn't go their way, then the warning lights start to really blare off. But for now, it's a strong start for Enterprise. Liquid have had the wake-up call. The question is, can they take that call and actually move forwards with it?
That really is the big question. But with that being said, yeah, I think we've got to be looking at these players and seeing what can actually come of this, right? And what they have up next. It is a Team Liquid Academy pick, of course, Hazza. Do you think that there's going to be an immediate bounce back? Do you think Enterprise would have done enough work for this next map to come through?
Well, that's the question, you know, how much work have Enterprise put into rectifying the wrongs of the last time that they faced? It was not just a map which Team Liquid Academy excelled in, but one which they utterly dominated at the start, at the very least, a 10-2 attacking half to kick things off. So Enterprise will need to work on their defense there, as they crucially had on Split. Looking at the leaderboard at the end, Kozzy finishing 21-7. Almost feels lower than what we could have got from him, because he was 20-3 at one point. But a standout performance to start this one off. We have to see the individuals on Liquid start to have a couple pop-offs of their own, but that also comes from playing a solid game as a team front to back, and Enterprise a lot of the time found themselves in the right position to make that magic happen.
Yeah, I think 1-0 had a very off day, or off map, I would say, so far. He's usually like a real kind of enigma around this team, like a real mercurial player that can go and win maps for them, but we just didn't see it this time, and I think that was the big loss here. I would have loved to have seen that Kozzy versus GSR versus the 1-0 matchup, but we just never really saw it.
Yeah, look, we know that Liquid Academy have big game players, but it's a couple of the names that I highlighted in the build-up to this one, both Wanzero and maybe some of the calling from Pretty as well, that could get chaotic in those moments where you want to see Liquid actually shine and prove their capability. They did it in the upper final, but the grand final's not got off to the best of starts. We'll see after a short break if Liquid Academy have what it takes to bounce back on Corrode.
Surprise we don't go together, but it took us a while before we figured it out. What a shame. I'm not asking you for closure, I just want it to be over. We don't need to break up if we were never aligned. Is that okay? I shouldn't be yours if it means changing who I am to get us through. You shouldn't be mine because you're you. I've had enough, yeah, I've had enough. Say you've had enough. We wanted love, but 'cause it's not enough. Say you've had enough. Yeah, I gave it time and you really tried, but you're sick and tired get up. The rest of me, I don't think twice. Baby, sit tight, 'cause we gotta kill the vibe. Don't be shy, stay the whole night, 'cause we gotta kill the vibe. See the fire, places good to go. Hit the love songs on the radio. All I wanted was to take you home, 'cause we gotta kill the vibe.
Sign my deal, I pay my dues, affiliated to this paper. I need freedom for my family line. Draw my life design up like fine art. I'm jumping out just to unfamiliar coordinates. Topped off the porch like I could touch the sky. Red, it's not one trillion. The ism talk the water out your faucet. Look at me flossing, I'm so wavy, I could change the tide. My intuition sense the hatred in your ways. You imitated, forging lines, claim meaning means that's just to justify. Yeah, right. West side, born maritime. Creole baby, my bloodline. My lungs clouded, my thoughts crowded. Say all I see is these dollar signs. Finna make a play and that sound delay. On mamas, I testify. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. You ain't recognized game. I'm from the Bay, okay, I'm versatile and my slang was different. I'm lane switching with the same people that I came up in this thing with. My head swivel, I'm homebound, got a target back on my backside. The cat peeling with the cast iron, better run for it, run before I catch you. Niggas out ball it, block it, trying to stop my blessing. Gamble with your life, don't bet it, don't bet it. They can't stop my blessing, you do best not to test it. Yeah, you right, real all in my blood supply. Take it ball up top, finna make a play. I cast a lob like I'm Jalen, baby. No co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. If I say it twice, then I meant it right. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. You know, co-signer, no co-pilot. They pen pals, my flow designer. My brain signal out of range with it. My palm mission is a dollar sign. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here paper chasing, looking for the funds. Run for it, run for it, run. I'm out here.
Welcome back to the grand finals of Valorant Challengers Northeast Stage 1, where Enterprise have drawn first blood here in the best of 5. It was their map pick heading into this series, Cairo, and I have to say it was more dominant than we were expecting.
Yeah, it was a lot more dominant, Hazza. I think the thing is, though, is maybe we should have expected it in a way, because Enterprise have had fairly good results on Split before, like against Giant X in the Clash event, as we were speaking about coming into this one. But as for the next map, we're now heading in towards Team Liquid Academy's territory, and I'm expecting at least an answer back.
Yeah, we're heading into deep Liquid territory here. You consider the 10-2 attacking half start that they had on this one last time. The fact that they've played it 7 times and they're yet to lose on it. Enterprise should be not quaking in their boots, because I think it's fair to say they will have prepped directly for this. Something that we haven't spoken about between the coaches on both sides is that it's both Itopata and Shadow in slot for this roster. 2 coaches now, but former player in the form of Shadow, who know what it means to lift titles here, both with a couple each, as they fit their respective roles back on the Apex team that we had with them with Magnum. So no change-ups, at least in terms of composition from what we can see to start.
Yeah, and I think straight away we're going to be looking at how the Lime and Causey matchup looks like, how the synergy looks like for them. But as for the GSR and 1-0 and how they play off one another as well, so I think it's Flash Initiator, I guess, in the form of KO and Yoro, and the duelist, or the space-taking duelist, and the Whaley and Neon on either side. So yeah, I think that's going to be the big kind of, I guess, things that I'm going to be putting under the microscope, and how these synergies work off one another.
No, absolutely. Those have to be the pivot points on this map. And I mean, the KO pick for me for a start is very interesting because in terms of his play rate at the top level, I believe we hadn't seen any KO played at Master Santiago so far, at least not up until the previous play day. It's an agent which can be a great facilitator for Kozi, but I feel like we already saw how good the Teho was. We know Lime can play that as well. There are other options. It will be good for information gathering for some of those reclears that you're going to be looking at, flashing into mid, flashing into B main specifically. But as we dive into Corrode now, it's Liquid's opportunity to respond. Enterprise hunting down another regional title here with 3 already in the cabinet. And on the defender's side is where the problem started for them before. No opening kill for them just yet, but Kozi doesn't wait long.
No, he doesn't. Pops out.
Again?
Yeah, I mean, there's just no stopping this, man. There's no stopping Enterprise as they flawlessly start this defender side.
Perfect start for Enterprise. Liquid winning both pistols on split, of course, but that only showed for the 4 rounds which they were able to generate from it. With that in mind, it's really the rifles that we've got to be focusing on. An attack side pistol would have been a great way to start Corrode. As you were saying in the build-up, this is a map notoriously strong for good defender-sided teams, as Enterprise have proven they can be.
Yeah. And once you move on to the attack, it can be a war of attrition. I mean, we saw it against with BBL last time. Kozi's getting things started off right. Doesn't seem to be... Yeah.
The calmness about him to wait for a second and then look for that additional kill. If I'm not mistaken, it's back-to-back flawless rounds for Enterprise here to start. So at the very least, bringing everything from that secondary purchase into the bonus now.
Well, as simple as that is, it's going to be all close quarter weapons with the exclusion of the Sheriff and the Outlaw. So Team Liquid Academy just need to beware when they're trying to execute to clear the close corners. And it looks as if priority is being set on mid for the attack.
And for the defense as well. A change up from both teams. No smoke placed. Kozi happy to fight in the open air. Another kill picked up through this Outlaw. 2 shots to the body this time, and Wanzeru has to be cautious to clear this close corner. Prox playing with the Spectre and a Prowler to tee him up. Hinder lands at the feet. It's perfect utility from Enterprise.
That's unbelievable.
The flash under the hand with the paranoia on top as well. It is champagne Valorant coming out from our title holders right now.
I don't think there's anything else to be said. You've summed it up perfectly, Hazza. If there's one thing Enterprise have been working on, is definitely how they play off one another. But the 1 versus 4 has been started for Rex, and he does have 50 seconds to play with.
A great mechanical player, but as you teed it up, this is a meta built on micro. And if the KO is worked into this well-oiled machine like that, then maybe it could make a difference. Made to hold my breath as Rex again tries to make something happen in a clutch situation, but that one too far beyond him. The first 3 kills for this Liquid Academy attack coming in that one motion there. Enterprise nearly with 3 flawless rounds to start this, if not for his heroics.
Yeah, right now, like, that bonus conversion, the fact that there's not been a single spike plant again, Team Liquid Academy are probably going to be heading for an early timeout if this is the way things are going to keep going.
I mean, it's just crazy too, right? Like, as we said, you expect Enterprise to come into this with preparation to build upon their mistakes. You look to their defense being a real struggle point for them here last time. And clearly, something is working. A little bit more proactivity towards A main. That gets gutted out, but Liquid are already on the high road for this B-pop.
No, they are, but they are heading into Lime. And he's actually all alone. The ultimate to try and support. And oh, there was going to be a re-clear through mid, but the gunfights aren't going the way that you would expect. Somehow, a Team Liquid Academy break onto the site and rescue 2 rifles.
Yeah, and a healthy Rex empties his pockets. Full utility dropped on site to play this 2-on-2.
Yeah, this is going to make the post plant even more difficult to try and break as GSR goes round the side, identified, but up top is the most difficult to try and deal with for Alluri. What a player not known for his mechanics, and it's certainly not going to show here. A thrifty round for Team Liquid Academy.
Nice attempt from Alluri. I don't know if GSR was trying to fake the reload to bait him in or actually required more bullets in the gun. The Terror Trail was highlighting the players of both positions. A great ultimate back through mid here for Enterprise, but just couldn't contain the individuals. And this is the difference between that first map of Split. Didn't see any big moments, but that front 3 of Rex, GSR and 1-0 have made their impact. It has to continue though.
Oh, it does. But it's a much slower start to the round this time.
It's also the first time that we actually see Kozi introduce an operator. Great with a rifle in his hands, but this is one of the best ways to play the solo Waylay on defense.
Well, it is. It's been mostly Lame who's been playing the operator on the last map.
So Kozi's actually looking to tee up this first fight. Refract active, little jump spot, and it's a shoulder on the Liquid side, which has been sighted, B main. Enterprise actually starting to split their focus towards middle and a regroup on A. Perhaps a tell in the default here from the attack side, because they're in the right position to receive this.
Oh, they are, and the operator in position to hold mid. Kozi straight away back in with a double kill. So now the main pack in main is forced to show their hand as they try and break through. You can see Prox playing with the time and Spike down on the ground, and that might just be it as the rest of Enterprise collapse on the remaining players of Team Liquid Academy. I see remaining players, it's just 1-0. Player who is yet to really warm up into this, and he won't be warming up into this round either. 4-1 for Enterprise.
Yeah, another dominant start from them here. A little blip on the Thrifty, but Kozi shoots his gun like a laser beam. Finds both players in middle. I really thought that we would see a follow-up kill there and trade him out, but not to be at range. Liquid do have another buy right behind this, but the money already wrought and sitting on a knife's edge for now. They're getting pretty close to some ults here, Cairo. They're just one away from the Yoru, the Omen, and the Neon Overdrive. Rex wasting no time to get the Steel Garden in, but plenty of ground to cover.
Yeah, that there is, and this null command has taken all the utility off, so it's just straight up gunfights with Enterprise having the advantage in terms of utilities. The players try and break through. It's Spam that's got 1-0 the kill. He now has his ultimate to try and break the mold.
It's a great read off of that flash sound cue to just pre-fire and find one. Has the overdrive, can increase the pace here, and will waste no time to pop that ult and take A.
He's trying it. That flash is good though. Enterprise holding on and doing so successfully. That C stalling things out, but at 4-4 the spike goes down and Rex just edges Team Liquid Academy in front. Enterprise try and take the site, but unfortunately they'll be stopped at the door. It's a round win for Team Liquid Academy.
And again, it's 1-0 that puts the keys to the ignition and gives Liquid a little bit of juice there when they needed it. Pops the ult, dives in, and takes the fight to Enterprise, where we've not seen enough cohesion between the members just yet. A lack of congruency in some of those moments, but you have it now. And you can already see before the barriers drop, they're looking to double down with a B-pop, 5 members strong, and another one of these ults to spearhead it onwards.
GSR looking to ping out exactly where Magnum's playing from, trying to bust out of the ultimate, and Magnum comes out on top. A double kill, a disaster for the Academy boys. 1-0 can't spam his way through. The setup looked good for Corrode, but spike down in Lime's hands.
Couple of mistakes already in this round, but Liquid will need some on the Enterprise side to recover this 2 versus 4. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen here. And that is a catastrophic conclusion to a round which looked like it might be possible, Cairo. A real micro misplay there towards Elbow.
Yeah, maybe a little bit overconfidence from GSR. He won't be happy with himself. And it's these little frustrations that might creep into your game, might make you make decisions that you wouldn't normally. And that's why Bacon's going to time out and try and reset the attack of Team Liquid Academy.
You can see exactly what the plan is there. GSR wants to catch Magnum with a bit of utility out, but was just a little too late for the molly. Pretty sticks the TP. That's supposed to drag his crosshair away, but with support arriving so quickly for Enterprise, they were able to deal with that threat quite handily in the end. The next error is actually the spike getting brought backside there as they were trying to find some additional space in Link. It's just a series of unfortunate events really for Liquid. But on the back foot again, another timeout used by Bacon. Enterprise yet to hit the pause button so far in this series, Cairo. They've been very happy with how this one started.
Yeah, I mean, why would you not be, right? The Lime's firing, so is Corrode. It's that that duo that we put a microscope under. How are they two going to play off each other? How are they going to play generally? Both have started off brilliantly, but GSR and, well, I guess 1-0's had at least one good round, but for the most part, it's not been one to watch for those two.
That's just the layer of flexibility that Line gives you for composition. He can play so many different agents. Remember from his time in DAC, literally purple all across the board on VLR. A real unicorn. Magnum trying to make something happen here behind his own wall, but yeah, it does end up costing him. Perhaps just expecting a solo lurk or something of the sort, but it's a full split execution. And with Alluri caught in the crossfire as well, the only thing stopping Liquid Academy from moving to post is that spike dropped back in spawn.
Yeah, it won't take them long for them to recollect, but they have isolated at least one. Oh, and, I mean, Pretty still comes out with one of his own, so 2 versus 4 for the remaining 2 to try and clutch up from.
Look at this reposition from Liquid Academy, though. Taking space in towards heaven, and 1-0 already wrapping around defenders spawn. Enterprise look like they might just cut their losses here, anticipating a slight investment. You know, maybe they're hoping there's a Guardian or something in here, that there wouldn't be an upgrade, but it is ultimately Liquid Academy at full force again, and Enterprise the ones who have fallen on hard times.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Oh, Prox has triggered the wall, so Team Liquid Academy now know where he is if they want to hunt, but it's that economy situation for the defense that they always need to keep an eye on.
Yeah. And for the attack as well, right? I don't think they could afford to invest any more than one player to go and hunt that down if they really wanted to. So we're in a bit of a stalemate at that stage in the round. And as you can see with the checkerboard in the timeline, Liquid Academy have started to find results. Those first 3 rounds are the 3 gun rounds they've been able to win in this series so far. I mean, it was an eco that got things started, but sometimes you do just need that fire under you to get going. Enterprise back to the A main duel, but Kozzy only a bandit this time, and he's up against an outlaw.
Oh, he's just been dropped to Phantom there at the last minute.
Okay.
So,
sure.
Raid Boss in, and unfortunately Lime out. Nice utility, and Kozzy just can't quite get it. The bandit working for Prox. Maybe should have kept on it, because as he picks up the rifle, it's a very easy trade. So Team Liquid Academy, the runway now onto site.
Yeah, I was wondering if Prox could get any more there as the rifle was recycled back into his hands, but nothing going. Liquid Academy storm the gates to the A site, and Magnum left to reprise his role in a round which is already doomed. does manage to recover a Vandal at the very least, and he should be taking the quickest possible exit. But I have to say, I'm very impressed with how Liquid Academy have responded in these last few rounds. This one was an eco, but still, Cozzy with a rifle in hand is not an empty threat.
It's not. I think the other aspect to this, Hazza, is that now Team Liquid Academy are within one. So this gets a very interesting prospect, and arguably for me, I think Liquid Academy have already done everything that they need to take this one forward.
Yeah.
So with that being said, there's what, 3 rounds left in the half. Depending on which way they go, it could be game on for that second half.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one to call at this stage, I think, because in some ways, Enterprise have already done much better than they did on their last Defenders half on Corrode against Liquid Academy from that upper final. And we know that they won 7 out of 10 attacking rounds there, as they eventually lost 13-9. So if you do the math, that should put them, what, at 12 rounds based on their previous successes, if they're able to, you know, stay on this round count, or well, not stay on it. If they can improve on it, then it's tracking as a map win, at least for now.
That's a big if. Fake TP used to try and fake the presence through mid and beat out utility. That's when Team Liquid Academy begin to process into mid and win out the duels.
One of the first times it's felt like Cozzy has gone for that kind of a fight and ended up losing it. Team Liquid scaling with severity towards the B site, and Magnum's got a whole lot of work to do. Quad kill from this position last time they faced, but it's not going to happen on this occasion. GSR cuts him loose with 3 in the round, and Liquid tie up those loose ends. Oh. They're attempting to here. It was a spike retrieval mission that enabled Prox to at least wet his whistle, but what, 3 more to find?
Spike planted.
Yeah, still a lot more to find in his books. He does have paranoia though.
Cover going out.
It's whether he anticipates this double stack, and I don't think it's happening. Liquid catering their positions to the situation accordingly and bringing themselves level in this game. For the first time, it has broken the bye of Enterprise, and they fall on financial hardship again. Not without ults though, and that will be one of the main talking points, I imagine, of this timeout. Their first timeout in this final.
Yeah, first time out to come through, and Enterprise, I think that, yeah, need to just talk about like how this is going wrong, because they're allowing Team Liquid Academy to snowball, and they're doing very well to create these timings. Like for instance, you see the all they used was a clone and a fake TP. Enterprise used their own utility, and suddenly they had nothing to set up the players who wanted to fight against the Academy boys coming through the smokes. So yeah, for overall, I think the Enterprise probably looking to be like, hey guys, let's start playing in pairs, let's start like shoring things up, let's not be making these simple mistakes.
Yeah. I have to say, I really enjoyed their bonus round more than anything. It just showed the peak levels of synergy that could be achieved with this lineup. And then they just started to move away from it. I mean, at the same time, you've got to be thinking about the Liquid perspective. They have now been hitting sites directly as 4 or 5 bodies through the mains, so mid feels like a secondary conversation for Enterprise to be looking at, but the threat has been there. So into this round, there are a couple of buys. Prox is on a judge towards A. Magnum has invested the Viper's Pit for B, and with a Phantom in his hands, he is the biggest issue that Enterprise will need to deal with here.
Proactivity, I thought through A main would have been absolutely huge for this defense, but the vacation in mid, and Team Liquid Academy not really heading that way, worries me ever so slightly. Even going to get a dimensional drift out.
Yeah, they do full clear it as Liquid are now starting to look for that breakthrough. It's Kozzy that finds GSR exiting the ult, and he has one more in store for us. The hand cannon already unleashed on Liquid. With a Phantom in hand, he wants more. As the sole defender of A there, it felt like a necessary move perhaps, but now into a 3v2, Liquid get the numbers back on side.
Yeah, I feel as if he didn't need to do that. At least Magnum still has a rifle to come back in with.
Feeling the confidence, perhaps a bit of an overheat, especially after that first map performance, but now Liquid starting to pile on the pressure here. Magnum was that one Phantom in the round, but the crossfire established and Pretty pulls the trigger to finish off the job. Liquid at the very least level on the half. It's well below the expectations they set from the last time we saw these teams face on Corrode. Enterprise have improved, but if they want the fruits of their labor, they're going to need to win this final round.
Yeah, that they are. I mean, there's ultimates in play here for Enterprise to try and make things work, because he's back on his operator as well. So through mid, he'll look, overall, looks good for Team Liquid Academy. For Enterprise.
Yeah, it's going to be made to marshal the situation by himself here. One of those attack-sided operators, of which there are two, facing up against him, but the one-way just about giving enough clearance, and Alluri has also arrived on the scene to help marshal the situation.
Kozzy has just seen the omen, still worried about that right side, and unscopes at the wrong time, timing the favour of GSR.
And with GSR finding his man, that is one less ultimate that Enterprise have to play with here. A huge one to give them some stopping power in this round. Magnum again noting GSR, and this is where Liquid look to try and increase their velocity a little bit, escalate their efforts towards B. Manzera taking a lot of chip as he slides into the corner with a bunch of Liquid players by his side. Alluri just mows them all down, Odin in hand. And with that, Liquid hit the wrecking ball.
Switching sides.
6-all, and we will be tied on the half.
We will be tied on the half. We know what the scoreline was last time, but can Enterprise show us a similar attacking half to what they did to try and finish out this map and start 2-0, or will we go all even? We'll find out in the second half.
A 6-6 half on the second map, a map which Liquid will require for their efforts in this best of 5 grand final. Enterprise have improved quite considerably since their last showing here against the VCT Academy roster. 3 times as many rounds. It's the attack side where they were able to find some success before, but that starts with the pistol, of course. A little bit of proactivity already shown from our defenders, as B has been fully cleared out.
Problem is here is all the players walking through mid are just about to collapse upon Rex, who's all alone. He has heard the steps though and has decided to retreat. Support coming through a Euro TP.
Liquid Academy side retooling themselves here for a retake effort. Just gauging the situation as a couple of players are flanking in from main, but Enterprise all numbers on site here, and they are fighting forwards through the elbow position and well into spawn where GSR plays discipline for just a moment, does find Magnum, only target left behind, no man left standing after he finds two more. Enterprise down to their last couple players, Prowler spotting one inside the smoke, and with Pretty on a quick right click, I think he's found a 2-for-1 there. Liquid in front now and continuing to go through the motions.
Yeah, the motions certainly have been going through, and Enterprise, once they got to post, just did not consider to clear behind box. Excellently played by GSR, but Enterprise will be kicking themselves after that one, has it?
Absolutely. I mean, a player clears the corner there. Even a trade on Magnum's death would have made all of the difference. It's a weird one to try and call, and Enterprise were just looking for the information. They barely saw a player there, and so actually it sort of sets up GSR to find those jewels because he had the element of surprise, and the rest of the retake successful for them. Liquid did end up finding the 3 rounds that they needed on their defense, of course, to close out that upper final. But as we've already said, this is such an important map for them in general, Cairo. It's the start of a response in what will end up being a long series, but a series with a string of maps that, you know, start to favor them more as this one drags on.
Yeah, and that's the big thing for Academy, is to have that patience in this best of 5, which there's plenty of experience here in that position for GSR and obviously Rex. They've been here many a time, Pretty as well for the most part through his years, but Kicks as well, who's even had it in VCT, EMA, and even won, right? As we look here, Enterprise are actually starting to really assault the site, but the players at the back of site hold things down and win it out.
Kicks with another Guardian 4K. Seen him do that from this position before, and he will strike again. So a pretty clean anti-eco in the end. Magnum finding that first kill had you a little worried, but no spike plant, no problem. And as you mentioned, yeah, I think for me really it's a question of can Pretty add enough impact, you know, whether it's through the calls, whether it's through the kills, because he has always been very capable in that first metric. It's just these grand finals, these best of 5s, where we've not historically seen the best of him, and whether that's just a depth issue, whether that's a pressure thing, hard to say.
Brilliant start though to this one.
Magnum, yeah, to find the first kill again, and this time it's completely untradeable.
Yeah, and the fact that it's on Kicks, your mid-rounding utility, could be huge to what Team Liquid Academy want to do. Obviously they can try and contact up, but now I would probably say Enterprise have the advantage when it comes to that part of the game.
Wanzeru sent up to offer some relief, at least in terms of the numbers, but it's only going to get worse for the time being. Of course it is when Kozi's got something to say about it. Back on track as he blasts down 2 targets. Couple of quiet moments from him, honestly, with how this map started. But he is the real driving force for Enterprise here, and now shifting through the gears. They are ready to challenge Rextone to head on. A full site setup for him on
30
B.
seconds left.
Yeah. Him hiding in the corner though, I immediately identified through the horn. The fact that he's had to shoot it, the players should know, but none of the utility hitting, cause his rifle does in the end, so it will just be a 4 versus 1.
Spike planted.
And it's Wanzeru who has to try and walk that path. A 7th queued up for Enterprise, a chance to make this a one-round game. Wanzeru's got to give us his best and has already started with at least one. Finds a second, and with the slide primed and ready, you were just wondering, was there a way he could break that double stack of players? We'll be left to theorize it a little further because it's not happening here. And Liquid's defensive-sided start is stopped at the bonus.
That it is. You just got to be keeping tabs on the economy state though. 3 players on Enterprise on 100 credits, and Team Liquid Academy starting to run dry on some of their own players. So this is like a bit of a swing round between the two.
Yeah, if Enterprise win here, all of a sudden they're punching up for a lead, potentially. Change in setup from Liquid Academy. Vice Util now warding off an A piece. It's a KO Flash to try and take the line early here. Rex landing shots on a couple different targets, only taking one. Kozi first in to meet him and trade it out. Kicks the line of defense, which will be hit here initially, but Kozi, an all-out assault machine, again finds 3 picks. And Liquid Academy can only bow their head and respect the effort. They're not going to have the guns for the following round. They've got to make amends with what they can hold on to here.
I love that from Kozi. People are wondering why was he able to take players off guard? It's because they're expecting the KO flash. They don't realise that the position that Kozi's in, he's just going to swing you anyway. He doesn't need the utility. Asks instead of backing me with utility, back me with your gun. Just swings in, takes players out. And we end up all even after this one. Team Liquid Academy having to save a few rifles so that in the next one they have a buy. This is now getting worrying for the defensive side because Enterprise are at a real, I guess, critical condition or critical point in this match that they could kick on from.
Yeah, after Enterprise having their dream start, really, in those first few rounds that we saw, a 5-2 lead, and really making the best of the improvements that they've had in the downtime between the upper final and this game. Kozi continues to be a star in the making. In that same map which they lost last time, he still posted 26 kills, 8 of them first bloods and only a couple of first deaths in exchange. He will continue to be and prove to be that problem which Liquid have to find a way to handle, because I gotta say, as much as GSR burst on the scene and took everyone's breath away at the start of last year, Kozi is doing the same and then some with the levels that he has been showing here.
I would have to agree, Hazza. I think Kozi just on another level, right? But it's the fact that he's on a roster that can compete in Ascension. GSR on an academy team, and Team Liquid will not want to let that boy go, right? Like that, he's locked in. He's not able to leave, you know? Whereas for Enterprise, as soon as they hit like tier 1, what happens with Kozi, right? Because he could be the player that drags them up to that point.
I want to see you crawl.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll be without Ascension this year, but we know that Kozi's at least got a couple more left in him to be terrorizing tier 2 before he gets that chance in what I would imagine to be 2028 or something of the sort. Long ways away for now. So full focus on the round in front of us. Lime lobbing a flash into elbow, as Kozi is the furthest player forward, as always, leading the line here for Enterprise against this Liquid purchase, which currently is not working out for them. Finds the next man in towards elbow. Rex with a double on sight, and from the corner back to the wall. Liquid still left breathing here. Lurie can hear the steps close. He knows where at least one of these players are. Just maybe anticipating that second swing. Not going to see it. Tap of the spike and slips away into the night.
Does Pretty think is a fake? Does he gamble on the rotate? Look, he's re-clearing. So there's time now for Alluri to get to the B site, get planted, and in that time he'll have his haunt. So basically, Hazza, we're looking at a fade with a full belt of utility and time in their favour.
Yeah, it's moments like this where you want to see Pretty prove his worth against Alluri. Multiple time challengers champion, eyeing up another one here in the clutch. First couple shots go wide, and Pretty will take his opportunity with both hands. The captains clash, and it's Liquid to lead the game again.
Yeah, Liquid taking it straight back. I would have loved for Alluri to go and play from Heaven or another place like that with his utility, but instead decides, you know what, I want the engagement. Tries to take Pretty off guard, but instead Pretty well aware. Some nice shots, and as you said, proved his worth.
A big moment in this game, and that's where Liquid have to be good for them. Alluri, as you say, wanted to try and gamble with the element of surprise. I like the play on paper, it's just the shots, the execution was not there. Couple swings at it, couldn't find what he was looking for. And so this is a huge swing round between the teams. Both of them with their economies fraught. Wanzero bringing out an Odin to try and spam through middle. But Enterprise not entertaining this one bit.
Trying to fake out where the Omen TP is when, and you can see that Team Liquid Academy have actually bought the bait at this moment in time, tried to re-clear through the back, and at the same time that's given a gap for the execute to come through.
Because he had just bypassed the Vice Wall there, but didn't trigger it, so Enterprise are going to be held, barred off here for just a moment longer. No way to get in, and Alluri caught on the backline with the hands in his pockets, looking for the C's. Kozi's found an opening pick, still left standing, still left breathing, but not for long. Finally, the cavalry arrives on the Enterprise side, and Magnum volleys back two in the conversation. Chance for the plant to come in now.
Yeah, but the question is now, with it Magnum getting those 2 kills and the spike going down, comes the pit.
Welcome to my world.
Pretty closing that gap up from the backlines, encroaching on this pit now placed on the site. Enterprise trying to choke Liquid out of their lead here. Magnum down to only 14 points of HP, could be whisked off his feet with a breeze. Pretty's already managed to pluck procs, and so Magnum from the corner has so much work to do. Spots the first target with a turn of the head. Magnum's still going here. Rex has to try and find a way in sooner rather than later because time is against him. Magnum still positioned from the corner and with steps heard. Rex position known. Classic right click, won't clutch it out. Magnum has kept them going here. And Enterprise back on level terms.
Unbelievable from Magnum. Well, in fact, I say it's unbelievable. This guy's done it time and time again, year on end. And it feels like every single time that we see him come back, I always ask myself, why was this guy not in tier 1? Proving it. It was top 4. He was a top 4 team last year, has a top 3 in split 2.
Full credit to the system which BBL were able to build last year, but I completely agree with you. Magnum at times felt like he brought that roster up to new levels, especially his own individual performances. You heard a few people talking about it. Mini, for example, former Fnatic coach, when he was there with his time, saying, look, I can't remember some of the displays that we've seen from him, even when he was wearing a black and orange shirt. So, absolutely showing his capability.
Bring them down.
Oh, Enterprise.
Liquid on an eco here, of course. This is the ramification of that last round loss and an opportunity for Enterprise to get themselves back in front.
Yeah, he's well-timed by kicks, but at this point in time, it should be fairly easy for Enterprise to win this out. But the utility isn't looking bad. The shots, though, are spikes still to go in as it gets tapped and to beat out the peaks. For overall, Enterprise have everything they need in this position.
Yeah. Liquid did well to get numbers over. Spike plant only just coming in as GSR is sighted in main. under the archers. There are a handful of players in and around elbow. Good looking to see what they can do here, but there is nothing in their way except falling into the grave, which Cozzy has dug out for them. Double digits on the Enterprise side, and it's in flawless fashion again.
I mean, what more can really be said here, right? Right now, it looks as if Cozzy is just on another level. It's equal frag, sure, but it's brought up his ultimate most importantly, in a round which Team Liquid Academy have the advantage. So let's keep an eye on how these ultimates are used, when they're used, and what Team Liquid Academy are going to do to try and counter what Enterprise are looking for themselves.
Enterprise have been really good at skirting around the edge of this Sentinel setup. Vise has definitely diminished in terms of popularity over the last couple years or so, but the utility incredibly strong, and Rex just not able to profit from it so far. It's tailored towards the A side for now, but as you can see, that spike not quite set in motion as shots have been traded in middle, but still no engagements. Oh, not until Wanzeru peaks with the op.
Yeah, and immediately gets taken out, but Cozzy gone, Raid Boss found, and Enterprise maybe not looking as strong. This is a nice ultimate though. You identify where players are. Can he go and find one more?
Pretty not pushed up quite enough to support with Paranoia there. GSR exits the ult in spawn. Strong off angle. Oh, lines them up. GSR! Quad kill from the youngster. And Liquid look like they might just be back on terms. Magnum, the Mountain King, has a mountain to climb and no Sherpa to support him. Doesn't look like it's going to happen here.
No, not at this point.
A really nice play from an individual Cairo, and I think we were looking for a little bit more of that from Liquid, matching Enterprise pound for pound.
Yeah, I don't know. GSR just does so well. But that's the thing, the fact that you've got that superstar factor in your team for both sides, right? There's moments like that that will come out. GSR has really improved on his performance from the last map, and Enterprise going to time out to make sure they can close out this map right now.
Yeah, I mean, GSR, such a broad agent pool, but I do feel like in recent times his Yoru looking the best. Someone who broke out on flashes, a difficult role to really excel on, especially in last year's meta. Playing KO, Breach, a little bit of Vise from memory before that became Rextone's comfort. And now looking at this situation, Liquid have the ults to really spin this in their favor. The round in front of them as well is a huge opportunity to actually get an upswing of their own and stop Enterprise from making any further gains here. Cozzy has the convergent path, Cairo, but I feel like we've not seen huge value from his ult so far, really. It's just been him charging in first that's been more effective.
Yeah, it was better on split than what it has been this map. Looks to try and challenge mid, already been spotted by Rex. But you look at where the change up in the Sentinel utility is this time. The wall being placed on towards top mid.
Yeah, and already triggered there with an Omen TP from Prox, so hyper aware of this adaptation that Liquid have presented. Pretty's got to be careful, doesn't get caught on the angle. Rolling retreat back into a deeper line of cover here on A, but there is no recourse, no support. He'll drop to the hands of Lime, and Kix can't do anything scrambling back to try and save the situation. 3 versus 5, does find one onto Prox through the gap. But a spam battle against the man in form Cozzy is not one that you want to entertain, and Lime is right there to back it up.
Don't know about the use of the null command, but I guess Enterprise really want this round. to make sure that they can get ahead.
I mean, there's that one situation, that one instance where Rex pops the Steel Garden, everyone's on pistols, and maybe they find a way, but that is, that's reaching, right?
Yeah.
And he's on the other side of the map, so as you say, Enterprise putting plenty into this, but it's a round that they couldn't really afford to lose. So they'll go back in front, and these teams just continue trading rounds. From this situation, Cairo, you have to say, whoever ends up winning Corrode right now is going to be grinning from ear to ear. If Enterprise do it, that might be the grand final all but secured. If it's Liquid Academy, then it's the start of what could become quite a long afternoon for both these teams.
I would agree. I think this map will decide whether this is finished in 3 or whether we go to 5. It's going to be a long afternoon if Team Liquid Academy do win it. But with 3 ultimates in pocket, they should be able to immediately answer back the defense.
Oh, another situation where Magnum is able to find value in a mid-duel, this time with an op in hand. Wanzeru trying to respond to this. Liquid getting reactive, and it's through Rex, where 3 targets are taken down. It's only Magnum and the op left now, and Enterprise will not get that opportunity to extend their advantage to a map point here.
And it's not going to be happening whatsoever. The operator recollected by Rex, and 11-11 is where we go. All even once again, and not a single ultimate needed to be expended, which is going to be the massive boon to this defensive attempt at reaching match point themselves. Regulation needed to finish this one out, Hazza, all 24 rounds.
And if Liquid space these properly, they might just have enough to get themselves through the next couple, because you're looking at Enterprise's money being a little bit on the ropes as well. Nothing coming up for them all too soon. Not without a huge play. Another big moment. A twist in the tail of this grand final, perhaps. Few Enterprise players already on GSR's radar in middle here, but they've bypassed him so far without trouble. That's until GSR on a swivel makes it happen and strikes thrice in the round. Wanzeru trying to follow up his act directly behind. And if Alluri's not careful, it's the nail in the coffin. Rextone to wrap it up. The dynamic duo from 2025 leading them on to success in 26.
Yeah, now map point, can Team Liquid go and finish it out? And once again, those ultimates still haven't been used. This is the big thing that Enterprise need to be careful of and need to keep catering their game plan around.
3 ults with a 4th not too far away. A stacked deck for Liquid Academy. All of that will disappear if Enterprise can extend this beyond the 24 rounds. Overtime is their win condition, and well, Kix is playing this position directly to counter what we've seen from Magnum, but he now finds himself part of the chasing pack that are looking to make an A execution.
Rex already looking to dip back and immediately rips the ultimate. So a dip out from Corrode, a delay being made, and not a whole lot of map control, so Enterprise look to continue on, trying to poke and prod in towards the A site.
They've managed to wrangle through that first layer of Vice utility, but as you say, Enterprise still very much in the eye of the storm here. Rex playing towards the back of elbow, does get flashed off of the line, forced to drop deep, and Wanzeru 6 feet deep. Lime again, digs out 2 huge kills. The ult from Kix is a precautionary measure. It'll hit a couple targets, but the spike is still eyes set on A. And GSR has to do something miraculous. He can't. Alluri holding the torch, and the rest of Enterprise following it up.
So now Enterprise head towards that B site. Team Liquid Academy are rotating over, but they're doing it very, very slowly and into 5 players. There's not a whole lot left in the utility belts, but it's those 5 guns, that advantage in man count, that will really favour the attack.
Crocs playing Scorched Earth with this Spectre, now supported by Alluri. There is no utility here for Enterprise. Liquid Academy have a combo that they can go with. Prowler just trying to search out that first player. No follow-up there. And overtime will be required to settle the difference between the two teams. Unsurprising with how those rounds bounce back and forth. But talking of bounce backs, Liquid have to find a way to close out Corrode, or this grand final series will be thrown into trepidation.
Yeah, now the pressure is really on with overtime hanging over your head. No operators being brought out, but it is Liquid Academy to start the attack, and both sides have had the lesser of the attack rounds. That's been their worst side. One to keep note of as we head through.
Liquid Academy historically have been a great team at making comebacks happen. As we said before, it all starts with Corrode. From that Swiss one run last year in the lowers all the way through to a grand final. They want another title, they've got to dig deep. Starting out on both extremities, no mid control, Enterprise completely gut it. And now the attack just starting to look at a reclear here, 30 seconds in.
Yeah, Enterprise looking to hold through mid, 1 minute on the clock, but Enterprise need to be careful. They end up coming out on top though, Line getting the kill, but Causey taking the timing with the wall going up. Do the players even consider? The answer is no. Causey gets out and dashes out, takes another port of call as the rest of the players come through to try and support, and are successful. Round perhaps 1 already, unless Rex has something special. But with the spike in Enterprise's hands, you can't help but feel this is going to be a defensive round win.
And even with the breadth of his ballpark, this one sitting just outside it.
Switching sides.
A 5th flawless round on Corrode for Enterprise. And sometimes, Cairo, when it rains, it pours. I have to say, when they stick to what works with their game plan, enabling Causey to have these flashy moments with utility dropping in behind and all the rest present, Enterprise are a top team, not just regionally, but for the rest of EMEA as well. First map point for them here to go 2-0 up in the grand final. It all comes down to the A main duel.
That wall looking to try and stall players out. Looks like Causey hasn't triggered it. Rest of the players delayed. Can't easily go back at any point, but decides to stick it.
Enterprise have been pretty good at clawing away this courtyard space early, and that consistent threat of a mid pivot is something that Liquid should be aware of here. There's a TP from GSR just outside of the B site, and Pretty is already stationed there, but this can become problematic quickly. And in just a moment's time, I think GSR's TP is going to expire. So if he doesn't take it now, then Pretty can be overwhelmed.
Looks as if Pretty could still be overwhelmed, as he's only able for 1, and GSR has to sit idle while that spike looks to go down. It's been tapped, but look at Magnum's position.
Oh, Magnum. This is the flank, and if he finds GSR, oh, that would have been it, but no. Liquid stay in front, Cairo. A huge opportunity now in this retake, but I'm looking at Alluri Link.
Yeah, he only has a Haunt as well. He's a big player for this post plant, but at least Causey gets the trade. You look at the player count, the health count, it's not great, and that was the lowest of the low. So now a 2v2, and Causey's still alive. Ultimate online, and Kick stuck in the corner. It's Enterprise to win and make this 2-0 in the map count.
A heartbreak heartbreaking overtime defeat for Liquid Academy on their own map pick of Corrode. And that could have cataclysmic consequence in this best of 5. Cozzy really turning up the heat exactly when it was asked of him, and that is something that I think we've said a few times already in this series, Cairo. A little bit of a dip in the middle of the map for him there, but when this guy is firing on all cylinders, Enterprise are at their absolute best. You can't just say the show was stolen completely by him though. The supporting cast and the structure in some of those rounds were a real improvement from their upper finals performance.
Yeah, I think on the whole thing here is though, Hazza, is the fact that obviously we saw the improvement on the initial side, right, on that defender side from Enterprise, as you were kind of talking about here. But as we now move forward, we go in towards Haven, a map that Enterprise have shown prowess on against the best of the best. I imagine Team Liquid will have their own thoughts on that and what they can do there, but I am now starting to get worried for this Academy side and what they can do at this best of 5.
Yeah, the headline coming out of this map, make no mistake about it, is a Liquid loss rather than an Enterprise win, because this had to be the one which stuck for them to find success over 3 maps, 4 maps, 5 maps, Cairo, because you look at these grand finals that they've had in the past. The last time they played Enterprise, albeit a completely different roster, they did get swept in a similar position. It's only really in the best of 3s in the past where we've seen them succeed. I think it was the start of last year when they did win a best of 5 against Enterprise, the old roster.
Yeah.
That was in the lower final, and that was when things were, still figuring themselves out while those synergies were still being built. With the history that this team has, at least on some of those core members and coaching staff, you're expecting an improvement somewhere, and Corrode had to be it in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, Cozzy dropping in 30, even when you see improvements individually from the likes of 1-0, from GSR, it's still not enough, and I think that just goes to show just how well built this Enterprise roster is, because make no kind of discussions about it, right? Team Liquid Academy are good, they're the future, but for the most part, they just haven't been able to show it here.
Yeah, definitely a couple of names on that Liquid roster which we're anticipating towards Tier 1, but as it stands, this is still an open playing field and one which they have to assert themselves and show that they can be challenging those VCT spots. Enterprise already have done so in an EMEA clash, and coming back into this tournament, and with the upper final loss now behind them, it is looking like they've taken the right steps of action towards sealing this one and taking another title within their own region. So we're going to head over to a break. When we return, Haven on the horizon. Will it be the map that heralds another title for our current champions, or the start of a Liquid comeback?
Make a life for myself. Make a life for myself. Make a life for myself.
don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it. Question everything, told them, nah, don't try it. Yeah, but you're moving like some sidekick. But you're moving like some waste man. Trying to impress me, won't like it. Be yourself, man, please don't try it. Really, why do they always? Yeah, you know I'm back like black tracksuit with a black top cap. People love to try, people love to lie. People forget stuff, remember that. We done them good, do you remember that? We needed someone, here's the facts. But people love to try, people love to lie. Yeah, this is London, mind the gap. Living life just multitasking. Smile like a horror movie, I'm laughing. Motivated and focused, crafting. Dash something in a break, all your eggs in a basket. Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Can't handle it, why you asking? Please don't try it. Nah, don't try it. You can't feed me lies, won't buy it.
A watershed moment in our grand final here for Liquid Academy, as Enterprise are currently up 2 maps in this series. Welcome back to Valorant Challengers Northeast Stage 1. We're at the end of our playoff stage, and very soon, potentially the end of the road for this Liquid Academy side. A hard-fought overtime win, as we saw rounds bounce back and forth, Cairo. But as we said on the cast, if Enterprise were able to wrap that one up, if Liquid couldn't seal it, then they have some serious problems ahead.
Yeah, they do. This is now moving on towards Enterprise territory. This is now Haven, and this is now where we expect to see Enterprise perhaps finish them off here, right? This is where it could be a real issue. And coming into Haven, what are both sides going to pick?
Well, that's what we're here to find out. In terms of the compositions, looking pretty standard to what we expect from both of these teams. When we look at Enterprise and this map for them, it's a 3-1 record so far. Expecting to see that Neon locked in for Kozi here, as this is arguably Neon's best map in the pool right now for both teams. They just love to run that double duelist. With the Yoru, it's the meta, and it's one which they are pretty in tune with.
And Wadsera is such a good Neon player as well. That's where I'm expecting him to start to thrive. Magnum back on his back on what we know him for, right? The Cypher has always been kind of a staple of his game. But I find it interesting that he wants to pick the Cypher, because what we've seen so far is Killjoy's had a high pick rate on this map.
Yeah, look, higher than Cypher, but in the general terms, I think it has to be said that, you know, after the nerfs, of course, Cypher not in a great place. Sentinels in general being played less across the board for double smoke, double duelist. And yeah, I think it makes for a very interesting interaction on this map, the Neon versus the Cypher, when it's mostly EMEA teams that have committed to playing this role. You highlighted Magnum there. I remember as on his time on Apex, liked to play a lot of those A short setups off of the camera, taking contact and being a little bit more proactive with it. So whether we get that from them here or if it's something different remains to be seen. But I have to say the focus really does sit on the Liquid side again, as the ones who have to be the protagonists if they want to turn this tale on its head.
Yeah, we need to see them come back into this one and really hit the highlights that we expect them to. This is the thing for Team Liquid Academy. This is a real watershed moment. They've already beat Enterprise, but if they let Enterprise back into this series, I think it really starts to shift the narrative for the year and what we expect. So with that being said, it's our title holders against our title contenders, and what could be the last map of this best of 5.
Yeah, Liquid not wanting to find themselves vice champions to Enterprise again. An assertion towards a throne which would put them level on total wins with Apex if you include the kickoff competition, which qualifies them to an alpha bracket win in EMEA Clash. Starting out on the attack here again, as they did on our opener as well. And it is a direct route towards C, which Kozi will at least threaten with some utility at the start. It's not fully bought a rotation, but it has left only Kicks on A.
Yeah, it has also bought so much utility, so Kicks needs to be careful as the players look to try and wrap round. Already seen, already gotten. So while we've seen procs be revealed, there's no one else on site. This is going to look like a very substantial post plan for Enterprise.
Here it is. This returning party on the Liquid side, retaking from flank, which is watched by that one trap of Magnum as well. So an early notification there. Wanzero's got a lot of heavy lifting to do.
Yeah, that he does, but I mean, Team Liquid Academy have really ate into their own time bank already, trying to retake from this position. So already the spike halfway done in terms of exploding, and Enterprise well aware of this retake, leaving just Rex to try and come back in. I mean, knife out, and round one, Enterprise get Haven started off perfectly.
Enterprise really feeling like they were 10 steps ahead there again. The preparation for them in this series is looking pretty flawless so far. Nice pump fake towards C with Kozi's wall, a Luri start, and that contacting pack of players up A long, completely overlooked by Kix, who has not had the best of series, along with the rest of the Liquid players so far. It'd be one thing if there was, you know, one or two people having an off day, but it just doesn't feel like there is a positive to be looking at right now. GSR's had moments, but we need consistency.
That we do. Very quick B take here so far as the drone looks to try and clear things out. Enterprise looking to dot their I's and cross their T's, clearing things. Magnum holding on garage for any player trying to come through mid, which has already been hit. And now Enterprise look to try and fight forward.
Yeah, they've left Kozi backside here. Kicks a Sheriff, Wanzero a Bucky. But he's late to the scene, and Kozi only does get one, is traded out by the instant kill of that Sheriff at close range. Enterprise with garage control as well, so they can just fully set their sights on the spike itself, and this should be no trouble for them cleaning up the last couple members. Kick's doing well though.
Yeah, he is. Rifle in hand and able to escape with it. So GSR goes down to the spike, but Enterprise at least have one of their tools taken away from them.
Yeah, and it's the best weapon that they brought into this round, the Vandal on Kozi, so actually he's going to have to rebuy that. And looking at the money coming out of the bonus, they should be alright for one in the next. But yeah, it's not as strong as it could have been.
Yeah, it's not, but it's still strong nonetheless. Let's be honest here. A Guardian now flung in instead of that rifle, the Vandal. And it looks as if this is going to be a straight up C hit. And with GSR and the Cypher of Rex, need to watch exactly how successful Enterprise really are here.
It's an execute which they had previously threatened. One way in sight to stop Liquid from having a strong crossfire here, and with GSR TPing out, he's just left Rex to die, unfortunately. Kozi carving out an opening kill, quick double line there as well, and yet again, Enterprise, when taking a site with numbers, just look infallible.
Yeah, it's another one where you're seeing Enterprise walk in, take the site, players left onto their ones, and on top of that, Team Liquid Academy are kind of left to try and save out here. Maybe Kix looks for an exit or two, but why would you? You don't want to. You really don't want to risk that.
No.
The identifying the trap is still information that Liquid Academy can use in future rounds, but realistically, it's a drop in the pond and what is already a really big issue.
I think you're also seeing a perhaps slight difference in terms of the experience between some of these players as well. For Rex, coming into this Liquid team, he only had limited experience from challenges in Italy, I believe it was at the time, but has come on leaps and bounds. It's in this game though where just some of the anchoring maybe has looked a little concerning. It's obviously super hard to try and do against the double dive here, but versus Neon, it's a matchup that you usually do give yourself a little bit of credit in. Not gone the way he was hoping so far though, and I think that's where those improvements have to come for this defender's side, just in general, being able to hold some of these sites.
Yeah, I agree. I think like the fact that so far it's Enterprise playing such a macro heavy game, right? Like the way that they've been able to fake out the C side in the first round and then play towards A. Then it was the B part of the map where there was no one there, and then they moved across towards C, where on that execute you could see the panic set in for Rex and for GSR. So overall, Team Liquid Academy, maybe it's just a call of, listen guys, let's stick to the game plan. Let's not be stupid here. Let's not be silly and kind of play off one another. Right now, the stack heavier towards A. This is a lot more simpler of a game plan for the Academy side.
Lobby control, something which Liquid Academy want to try and fight for here. Paranoia to try and retake that space, but Enterprise have already left. They're making moves elsewhere. It's on to B where they're headed, and Pretty is going to do very well to find much here.
Yeah, that he is, and unfortunately it's just not going to work out at all. The rifles of Enterprise fire off. 1-0 with his own rifle though. Starts to make things a little bit more complicated than what we first thought. Enterprise trying to identify through the drone, but not coming through. So it's up to 1-0 now to take up the protagonist role.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Enterprise completely know where he is. 1-0 had already crossed the window from the drone, but at this point in the 3 versus 1, needs a quick kill and is not going to get it.
Absolutely not. So I think with that, Enterprise up to 4. This was Team Liquid Academy's chance at going for an eco, trying to cost some money. It's not the case whatsoever. So we come back in here and look at what Team Liquid Academy have adjusted to. It seems to be something similar to what we saw in the last round, with 3 heavier towards the A side and just the Cypher left all alone on C.
Yeah, on Haven, at the moment, we know some of the best teams that we've had in the region on this map. I think back to like Heretics with their ISO Eurocomp that they nicked off Fnatic, who were also very good last year. And a lot of that just comes down to these micro engagements, right? I mean, 1-0 is a thief in the night. No better name to take off the board than Kozzy right now. Showing some agency in how they're moving up here, and GSR has just enough time on the TP to find another, so this is a perfect way to get themselves in the groove.
Yeah, taking that pick, dipping out. Now you can see a couple of pings going towards the A side of the map in terms of going for a stack. Rex though now needs to be careful because Magnum just comes flying through the doors and opens up the C site.
Yeah, it's little moments like that that I was talking about with Rex. Crosshair dragged by the dart, can't break it, and then loses the duel which follows it up. It's opened the C site for business here. Again, more proactivity shown from Liquid. I like this look from them. Prox has 4 targets encroaching his position.
Yeah, and it's GSR who comes out on top. Magnum did identify the right target, but it's up to Alluri, who was said before, isn't known for his clutches, but did find a spot in the last map. Can he do it once more? Can he find a way to win this one out? As both players come through backside, we can hear the steps. The timing perfect. Catches the head and kicks. Oh! Alluri with the big clutch for Enterprise to grab 5.
What a moment. Alluri take a bow. For how this one started, 5v3, completely of Liquid's own creation. When you look at the duelists, the aggression they started to show in lobby, but some really clever positioning there in what is a 3 versus 1 win from Alluri. Makes you feel like fate is on Enterprise's side today, because if that carries on, this one could be over in just a few moments.
Oh, Magnum through mid takes out GSR, and now it gets worse and worse. The image that we've seen displayed upon is the fact we're getting all the information. Magnum taken off guard. If ultimate's thrown into this one, Enterprise look to try and put Team Liquid Academy to the sword. That spike heading elsewhere, and Rex to take up position in a 1 versus 3.
Illuri's already given us a clutch of this caliber. Does Rex have what it takes? Spike arriving late, and he has a chance to interrupt here, but he isn't quite able to find it. And now, Enterprise can recalibrate themselves.
Planted.
Rex hearing all the noise, but not seeing any sight of a player, and when he does, his head comes clean off. So with that, 6-0, without a retort from Team Liquid Academy, and even after a timeout very early on, after 3 rounds.
You can see Liquid here, they're trying to make some of the same plays. GSR out in middle, should have had Magnum dead to rights, but that's where now some of the second guessing starts to creep in, when the individuals look off the ball because things just haven't been going their way, and where further problems start to pop up. I just think in general there's something missing with the decision making from this Liquid side.
There is. But I'll tell you what's not missing. I'll tell you what is missing. It's just Rex's ultimate from nearly a clean flush. So that's where you're expecting the response to come through. Spam of the rifle from Lime, not hitting. But he needs to be careful. There's plenty of bodies here for Team Liquid.
Enterprise thinking about fighting this, as are Liquid Academy. Wanzero, the instigator with his ult, does take 2 down. But Enterprise have enough to stabilize. Bodies stationed in Garden. And as the drone re-clears, Illuri not seeing anything and deciding it's in their best interests to look to greener pastures.
Yeah, I would rather see elsewhere. Didn't know if there was more of a stack. Illuri just making sure no one's walked down mid, but Rex's Marshall is within body shot of Illuri.
Would make it a 2-on-2 if he could find it. Instead, it's the head of Prox. Marshall shot right between the eyes, and now Kix is in position to close the gap here a little bit.
Yeah, he
walking
wants
up
that.
on the angle. Wall there from Kozzy is the saving grace, as it will allow the plant to come in at the very least, but has 2 more players that he needs to find. A group up from that right-hand side as both approach A-Link. Kozzy just none the wiser to the situation, and Liquid on their eco with an ult invested have managed to turn the deficit.
Yeah, this is a very big round to come back in with, a thrifty round, and it's one that might save Team Liquid Academy when we get in towards future rounds. The fact that their economy gets to kind of have a little bit of a breather now, the fact that they have 4 ultimates of their own now to come back in with. Enterprise need to try and weather the storm, even though they are the team who are 6-0. I can't believe I'm saying this. This could be Team Liquid Academy's chance to really come back into it.
I mean, it's the same story as it was on Corrode. The only difference this time is that the Liquid eco comes after 7 rounds rather than 4, so Enterprise still firmly in the driver's seat here. Slight correction of myself from earlier. This is the first time they actually start on the attack side, and with them setting the pace in this follow-up rifle, Rex gets 1 in defense of his sight, but 1 is not going to cut it here. GSR has arrived with all the rest, and he's got to be the one that holds down the fort. Pretty in support. GSR! 3 huge kills, and Liquid do double up.
Yeah, it's exactly the case. It's not the way that I thought it was going to be, but nonetheless, it's excellent individuals from GSR, and that's been the saving grace for this defensive side. In fact, through all the maps, he's been the highlight. As we always expected, the superstar factor of this team continues to crop up here and there. But as you always said, Hazard, we need consistency, we don't need moments.
That's exactly what Liquid have to make happen now. 2 in a row. Economy kept honest, but Enterprise still in this. Rex perhaps feeling rejuvenated after finding success there, and this cam contact, I think it was, is the sort of set piece that you would see a la Magnum, yet he is the one currently on the chopping block. Is he going to anticipate this? It's a second too late. Rex finds the engagement that he would have wanted, and actually Enterprise, while they're on the site, there is no comfortability to this.
No, there's not. I mean, they have to try and brawl their way through, but straight away, A great shot from Causey. He's just bought the round, perhaps. Lime now up next and answers the call. That spike, I thought for a minute was heading elsewhere, but Kicks to try and take things back up, take it on his own hands. Can't quite happen. The spike being tapped, both players peeking, and Kicks just continuing to try and be a problem.
Wants to isolate an engagement, but Enterprise swinging in unison. Causey with a triple and going pound for pound with the Liquid Stars. Sending Enterprise up to a 7th. And now in a position to keep themselves from harm's way.
Yeah, it's nicely done overall. Shots good, Causey even better. At this moment in time, Enterprise continue to march on. Maybe 2 more rounds for Team Liquid Academy, and the remaining 3 would be a success for me in my books. But that's a tall order.
Defender sided op out for 1-0. Haven't had all too much of this from Liquid, and it is the clone which receives a bullet to the chest rather than one of the pilots on the Enterprise side as they are onboarding their way to the C site now. Pretty wants the timing on this smoke push, gets it, 2 huge kills. The impact there, and Liquid with an opportunity now to retort.
Yeah,
4 versus 3, all committed. GSR trying to head this charge onwards. It is a slide out from 1-0 with the gap closed. Illuri can't clutch it 3v1 this time. Liquid getting another.
Yeah, one of the next 2 rounds would be huge. And you look at the bye, you look at what's coming up next. This round could be a swing round in favour of the defence, depending on which way it goes. As you can see, it looks as if Causey might be chucking a rifle over to one of his teammates. There's not a whole much left in this attack back now.
Yeah, with the 1 round win between rounds 8 and 10, shouldn't be full loss bonus for Enterprise. And as you say, Causey still only 200 credits here with the overdrive. Does try and run it into Garage, but Rex is there, good for the 1. Trade out, Paranoia in from Pretty. Util and players already eaten through here. It's Magnum on the A side of the map, which really piques your interest because GSR, as his first TP expires, is forced to step away.
Slime's just holding on to B main at the moment while the rest start to slowly make their way towards 8. GSR's timing's insane. At least there's a trade out in the end. But a lot of those bodies have been seen, and that's why you see the rotate right now.
Oh, and with the ult as well, Lime knows that there's an opening in B and he can finally start to take this timing. The maze of sewers on A danced around by Liquid Academy, and with that vacuum of information, they go searching elsewhere, and it's into the open arms of Lime. 1-0 goes. Numbers for the attack, and a post-plant set up on C.
Yeah, and a operator picked up as well. You can see right now that Enterprise are playing on the front lines, Lime holding CT, and a player in Garage window.
Has a TP to get out of dodge. Clone perhaps as well, but utility is surplus to requirements right now as far as Enterprise are concerned. Pretty is the next to throw his hat in the ring for a clutch attempt. Fake of the TP, but the smoke falls flat. Dropped into the middle of the site as he will be buried as well. Lime closes it up. Enterprise extending the lead to 8. And if they can find one more round here at the tail end of the half, Cairo, then you start to write that obituary for Liquid.
That you do. At 9-3, it feels like an impossible task. Don't want to write the obituary just yet, has it? Maybe you start to put some ink into the pen, but I think it all gets decided on the pistol round and how that looks. But both teams with rifles looking to try and brawl it out, and GSR once again trying to challenge mid.
Nothing comes of the initial engagement. Both teams dancing around each other in this final duel of the first half. TP out from GSR there as well, leaves him at the back of C site. Enterprise now starting to make some gains in middle. This B site not really threatened outside of the first few rounds, other than Lime's lurk in the previous.
Seems if Enterprise, though, have found a gap towards the C side. Well, Lime's been left all alone. His TP, plenty of time on it, but does he clear the close corner? It doesn't look likely. Pretty with an opportunity here to put...
Oh, the smoke!
Enterprise ahead! It's not going to be the case! Oh my god!
Lime just getting a heads up there. And with Pretty not looking, huge opportunity. Enterprise now, sight set on B. It's open for the taking. Wanzero's got to do it all.
Yeah, he's going to try and defend backside, defend this site all by himself, but with himself being notified, now the players head towards C, and you can see Cozzy's already aware. A big light up, but that spike needs to go down. So instead, they try and use the drone to get back in. Kicks all by himself in a 2 versus 1, and you know that operator is holding, but it's a luring from deep.
Oh.
This is doable. 1 versus 1. Lime holding.
Unreal.
And Kicks been able to respond.
That is sensational from Kicks, as he might just have saved Liquid Academy here. Noted that the op was off the line. A revealed Lime, not a dead one. And somehow making it happen. It is a foundation, a meager one, but it might just be enough to keep Liquid in this grand final. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for the end of Haven after the break.
Hello and welcome back to what could probably be, and now definitely should be, the last map in this best of 5 series. We kind of constructed it as Enterprise being the title holders and Team Liquid Academy being the contenders, but it certainly has looked like that in this best of 5 so far, has it?
It has. The one saving grace, that clutch from Kicks. A 1 versus 3, which might just have kept Liquid Academy in this game, but they have to do something with it. And the pistol round in front of them, the most pivotal in that run so far. Enterprise only just winning the first pistol here, where Liquid had locked them out at the start of this series. And now, searching for an open B play, where we will move to a post plant.
Oh! Big kills from GSR. Yeah, that's absolutely huge. The Ghost working out in favour. Pretty now looking to spam through as well as the barrel's seen. And this could be a flawless start. It is. This best of 5 might not just be over yet.
No, absolutely not. That's game on. GSR with a double kill straight through the smoke, and all of a sudden, the face of the game, as the half is bookended with Liquid Academy rounds, looks very different than what it did before. Of course, still, there is this anti-eco and a potential bonus conversion to follow it up, but with focus on the present, it has to be clean here. And for just a moment, it looked like we were going to get 3 ghosts. It is just the 2.
Well, that's a big stack to try and face up against. That's an issue, because with Allura getting that kill, that's an outlaw that you can easily try and grab. Same time though, other side of the map being worked, and Team Liquid Academy should have this pretty easily.
Yeah, Prox trying to play cheeky on the edge of his own smoke there. But the drone of Kicks is diligent, and GSR signing off on a couple more.
Time to jump.
When he's in full form, Liquid can really test and push Enterprise to their limits. And it's looking like he might just be rising to the occasion. It comes late in this series, without a doubt.
Yeah, but
And Enterprise have done well with the classics here, Cairo.
That they have. I mean, it's a welcomed one nonetheless. That's the thing you've got to consider. This round might not just be done, because there's 2 bodies sitting here for Enterprise and for Team Liquid. Okay.
Wow!
Send 5 more. We can do this again.
What a transfer from GSR. He gets all 5 in the end. They are eco frags, but some of the shots he was hitting in this round, especially on 10 HP, you just can't fault.
Insane. That is insane. And that's why he's the star boy on Team Liquid. So with that, Enterprise, they've done a lot of damage. The bonus isn't as convincing for the attack, but I tell you what is, it's the buy for Enterprise coming in with an operator.
Yeah, and this is now where Magnum gets put under the microscope. For as much as we said about Rex and his Cypher, is there a step up here on the defense? Or a Liquid going to bypass Enterprise with ease? Keeping them honest is Lime. Little TP A long for info, but he takes his place right back up on the A site itself. The bonus buy still just searching for a way in to find the breakthrough.
The thing is though, as they move into Cozzy's operator, as he moves away, this gap opens up. Team Liquid Academy have everything that they need now to go and get the spike down with little to no contest and set up a pretty convincing post plan.
Yeah, should be. It really depends on who it is that has authority over Garage in the late stages of this round. Trap there from Magnum at the moment, just watching it, but it's Liquid Academy that make the first move and get punished in A-Link.
Yeah, try and get a little bit more space. What the hell was that? Line from up high and Cozzy from down low. It's a 1-2 gut punch, and look at this. Team Liquid Academy have no response. Enterprise 1 away from double digits.
This is the Enterprise that pushed those VCT teams, taking the scalps of KC, Foot and GX, not to mention a Job Life side which won the first stage of France, an international roster that you're also expecting to see come the end of the gauntlet this year and looking in the direction of Shanghai. Cozzy hitting a couple of key shots as well. And now it's make or break for Liquid. They've got guns of their own, a full buy versus a full buy. Cozzy's off a serious threat, and one which they'll look to have mitigated, at least in the early round here.
Thing is though, is if you try and mitigate Cozzy's op, he's also got the neuro... he's also got the overdrive as well. The dimensional drift being denied through body blocking is an interesting one.
Yeah, it also looked, I think, like GSR just didn't want to commit to that garage space either, and actually it was a full cancel from Liquid Academy. There was enough of a gap, I believe, to get past there. Yeah, it's a strange interaction, but more than anything, Liquid have invested in ult. They've not managed to take away garage. The trap is still standing, but Alluri has to be cautious of any A presence, which he is hoping to note with this drone. Doesn't spot anything over the cage though.
That's an issue. Because is that a red herring, or is that the real warning sign starting to brew? It looks like it's actually going to be Team Liquid Academy heading elsewhere.
Just setting up Rex in sewers, keeping Enterprise's attention present, and they are gambling towards this side of the map in the end, playing to flood back out if there are any attackers on site. But finally Magnum catches wind of the situation. Rex catches Cozzy in the meantime, and Liquid have the space set up to move into post on C.
Yeah, but look at the bodies for Enterprise here. That's a brilliant paranoia as the rest of the players of Enterprise come through, and Rex is left scratching his head. Where is everyone gone? And what am I doing on this side of the map?
And that's the difference between him and Magnum, I think. Magnum just knowing they're playing enough scenarios, enough of these grand finals in the past, and hunting for another chip here with just pulling off and saying, actually, you know what, I can't win this duel. I can take one on a spray, but then I've got that utility. There's going to be a recon, there's going to be a blind, and that's a much more favorable fight to take. It's those micro decisions that make all the difference, and I think where Liquid fell short in their half, Enterprise have already shown why they're such a good defensive unit.
This is a nice spot. This goes here.
Enterprise still now starting to put Team Liquid Academy on bad buys. This is going to be a straight up C take by the looks of things. And there's little to no contest about that.
Yeah, Enterprise have created a very heavy A setup here. I mean, giving a site to an eco is probably not the best idea, but actually Liquid Academy don't seize the opportunity while it was hanging for them, just didn't know what the construction of players actually looked like. It's into Cozzy's op, which they'll be heading instead. It might just be from bad to worse.
It could be, as they start to head through, but it's a nice re-clear, and they would have caught the Neon there. Do they get the tag? They do in the end, and lucky for Cozzy, he's able to get out. That operator not getting the value that you thought it would. There is still some trades here. The GSR wants that rifle. 1-0 on the A line gets Cozzy, and while there's a couple of brawls happening here and there, Enterprise need to be careful.
Oh, it's only Alluri on A, and he's up against the op.
Oh, unfortunately, 1-0 comes off the operator at the wrong time. Alluri trying to escape, and he just walks into another one. So it's a 2 versus 3 for Enterprise to try and come back into, with 2 ops and the rifle. Magnum's just gone for it. The MVP so far, and he proves it once again.
Unreal from Magnum. Again, just showing that game intelligence, knowing, okay, well, they picked up another op, they already had one. If I drop down here, chances are, unless a player flicks quick enough to me, I'm going to be able to interrupt this spike plant. And as you can see, while Pretty's hands are busy, the rest of his team just die around him. So Enterprise get their 11th. Liquid still have money in the coffers, but this will be a final timeout. The last chance for Bacon to reconnect with his team, because they are left out on their own to find the answers after that point. Enterprise only needing 2 rounds to become champions again.
2 rounds, and then this could be it. While Team Liquid Academy have their timeout, the other thing to consider here is that Itapata will also be given orders to his team about how to finish this one out, how to try and win this. And already, you're starting to wonder what sort of plans will be getting cooked up as well. Cozzy's still holding on to his ultimate as well.
Yeah, they've got pieces to play with. Liquid coming up on a couple big ones. Sova, Neon ult. Omenalt already ready, of course. And I think just looking at that on the surface, you're thinking you're going to be good for at least one quick A-pop where you can get in behind with the Omenalt, where you can combine it with the Sova as well. But is that a gamble that they want to take? Is it too easy of a read? Enterprise haven't been playing on the sites for the most part. They've been looking to flood back in after that initial wave of aggression. Very strong against comps like this. But Wanzeru does find the opener. And so already a little bit of relief offered here to the attack side.
Cage triggered.
Magnum still
100%.
standing his ground.
Yeah, and
Gets
Magnum.
one. GSR trades it.
Oh, 1-0 now under pressure, but still comes out with one of his own. So it's a 2 versus 4 to try and come up against. 1 versus 4 now. And Lime, I think, might just be looking to save up.
Potentially, I mean, with the money that Enterprise have, he is willing to give this one a go, knowing that every kill he finds is one less weapon that Liquid will have in the next. He's made his way into C-Link early. GSR tracking this.
But is time going to work in Lime's favour? GSR already with the advantage in terms of damage, and yeah, it's as simple as that. Enterprise will concede the round. Team Liquid Academy doing well there. I think the big thing here is 1-0 getting this entry.
Yeah, and then hanging around in mid after that fact. It felt in some ways like his back was to the wall. It was a pretty compromised position to be playing the op from, but hits the shot that he needs to, and the neon movement is enough to get you out of trouble most times. 9 out of 10.
This goes here.
Like I said, Enterprise still have money to work with here, but it is not infinite, and Liquid with a huge opportunity to bring this within 2.
Oh, Causes just sent it through the own trap against Team Liquid. They don't even know what's happened. Blink and you'll miss it. GSR now left to try and reclear, but Enterprise are happy.
Yeah, everyone on Liquid still have ults to turn the face of this round, but the pace change from Enterprise is everything. And Prox has even felled the spike behind them now, so those problems only continue to stack up.
A drone to reclear towards long. It doesn't find where the operator is, so GSR and 1-0, both duelists, have to try and investigate the round and discover exactly what is going on.
GSR has the ult TP to try and get the spike back, but by the time he finds himself in that position, Liquid Academy will already have 3 players here through window. He knows it's the play he's got to make, and you can see that TP's now waiting.
Oh, he looks away at the wrong time. A running gun to snatch it away. GSR is going to try and deploy the ultimate to gain the spike out and a spike plant. So a 1 versus 3 for him to clutch up, and it's an important one.
He knows where they're all coming from though, and Liquid know this is an A plant.
Yeah. Well, steps being given away by the drone to try and disguise where GSR is. He's good for the first, but not for any more. Enterprise are up to map, series, and championship point.
Lime making sure that the op is there as well. Min-maxing the situation as much as possible. You completely understand what GSR has to do there. He has to be the one to drive them forwards. 22 kills as it stands, and not another player on Liquid Academy right now can really hold a candle to what we've seen from him. I love this call from Enterprise, and they've got the tools to go for it as well.
Yeah. That's the thing. On you go.
Hardly in short supply, but Liquid, even with ults of their own, look like they're going to make a full gamble to match it and send an A play with this Neon.
Yeah, 5 rounds played, and the rifles, and 4 of them won by Enterprise, 3 of which were defuses. So it shows you that Team Liquid Academy have no issues when it comes to getting that spike down. Enterprise know exactly what it takes to retake and win out by defuse, and they'll need to do it right here.
1-0, still the danger man in this situation with the Bucky, but the spike yet to even go in. Still, Enterprise making an attempt on the site. Has to be GSR, and it is for now. Quick double, Lime TP's out. And then Luri wants to further damage Rex here, but it's GSR that holds the line. Lime trading, Clone revealing the trap which gets broken. Still on the back foot, and when Lime can't carve out that advantage, Liquid Academy do stay alive.
Yeah, they do, and that's the other aspect to it, right, is you've got to be looking at this and seeing now that Team Liquid Academy may have fixed some issues, and again though, the problem that is kind of being fixed, the solution, is GSR go frag, and again, we can't rely on that.
No, but I mean, this should have been the game plan from the start, so Question is, what's really changed, honestly, other than GSR maybe finding himself in a few more positions where he can have that impact. Usually as the Euro player, you are the follow-up act to the Neon, and this might be the final act, the epilogue of this map, because Enterprise have 3 players in a smoke ready to refight off of the reveal. They only get 1, but good look for the eco.
Alluri needs to be careful, and unfortunately, if he'd went up at close range, I would have fancied him a bit more on the classic. But he will forgive the captain for that. And Spike goes down. Probably looking at Team Liquid up to 9 here.
Yeah, absolutely no way that they should be tossing this one. Couple steps heard it in middle, but Kicks shows a little too much there. That's another rifle back in the hands, Cairo. This is a 3v3 and a real chance now.
Yeah, this is getting worrying, but again, it's all about the time. How much time do you really have, and why is there 2 players starting to explore towards CT? There's 3 bodies now on the line for Enterprise as they get control of the spike, but GSR not accounted for, and once again, he looks to control and win the round. Causey! No way! With the huge 4K! Might have just won it for Enterprise!
But there isn't enough time. And that is the only thing that stops Causey from overshadowing the heroes on the Liquid side. The heroics of GSR. You are currently witnessing 2 of the biggest future stars go pound for pound, blow for blow, on what might just be the final map of this grand final. Fraction of a second in it. But GSR's done enough to come out on top this time.
He has about 0.12 better. That just shows you the difference. As Lime walks down mid, he's seen enough. Actually, double dips, decides to TP out. Okay, respectful. Dimensional drift used as GSR comes out, and he's worried about the wrong side, or is he? It's Causey comes flying round the side, takes GSR off guard, and Enterprise look to end it right here and now, decapitating Liquid's players as they try and execute. Well, unfortunately, it's the wrong execute you're looking at, as it's your own execution. A flawless round for Enterprise to win it.
And Enterprise will end this grand final flawless as well. A clean sheet in this final where Liquid came into it with not a single lost map on their streak across the stage. It won't be any records broken in terms of how many games they win consecutively here, but they match Apex 4 titles within the region as Lime stands at the top of the mountain with all of the rest, some repeat winners here in Northeast.
Yeah, the fact that Magnum comes back straight away, wins another title, just shows you the quality, and he was a real component to this. Personally, for me, my MVP, Causey, obviously was good in his own right, but I feel as if Magnum had some really impactful sight holds, and just his general play really helped support the team.
Yeah, at times it did feel like Liquid just took a little bit too long to get going, and while we can give them all the praise in the world for making it here through that upper bracket run, only dropping 1 map so far in the stage heading into this series and then losing 3 in a row like that is a really frustrating way for things to end, but it just took too long for them to really find their feet. We know GSR is such an unbelievable talent, and one which Liquid will have their eyes locked on for a long time to come, but yeah, just not finding the result when they needed it, and in the end, you give a great team that much space to succeed, they will punish you every single time.
Yeah, you will. I mean, Enterprise overall has through all the best of threes, all the 3 maps, apologies, that we've seen today, have shown us very strong starts. It's the second half where things have got a little bit more tumultuous, but for the most part, we're seeing Enterprise doing so well to just fight their way, brawl their way through, and it's taken too long for Team Liquid Academy to wake up.
I think there were definitely conversations heading into this stage about Enterprise and the potential of burnout that they could have been facing after EMEA Clash, with the amount of games that you had to play, the tape that other teams would have had on you. Lost a map here and there against the likes of Bonk and Liquid Academy, of course, in the uppers, but the way that they've shown up today for the most important occasion, the grand final, a chance for them to take first seed heading into Challengers EMEA and make sure they have the best group draw possible, is exactly what you want to see from a roster that we're expecting to have towards that play-in stage of VCT EMEA at the end of the year. So congratulations to them on what is now a 4th title for the organization in Challengers Northeast. And for Liquid Academy, look, we know that their future is still very much there, that they're working towards the end goal of seeing themselves in VCT in the future. The individuals, of course, that is. Yeah, I feel like it was maybe a little too individualistic at times today, and we didn't get the best of them that we know that they have. Yeah,
but we do have an interview ready with our winners, Hazza, so we'll head it straight over to that. Itapata, how's it going, mate? It's a long time since we've been able to chat.
Hey guys, nice to be back here. Nice to see you as well. I'm doing good. You see, the team is performing.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think the last time you and I would have spoke was an America's kickoff ranking, like last year or something. You know, it's been a long road for you to this point, and with this Enterprise team off the back of the EMEA Clash win, with the overall vibes in the team heading into this stage, how does it feel different to some of the rosters that you've been part of in the last year or so?
I don't think it's that different, actually. I think the level of players that we have is very, very close to even the Leviathan team that I had. So I think it's not any different. I still have the same system that I used to have in all my teams, and I'm very happy because in Tier 2 EMEA I didn't expect to have this high level of a team.
Yeah, 100%. It seems every time you come back to Tier 2 in the EMEA, you're able to get the Thanos gauntlet, you know, all the pieces. But I want to talk about one of those pieces because Causey feels like a revelation. We are talking about him being like the prodigal son, you know, like the next best thing that we're going to see in EMEA. What is it like to work with a player like that, and also like what does he give for you as a coach?
Well, I mean, Cozy is he's the next GOAT. I'm not gonna lie. Like the talent this kid has is insane. I don't think I've seen anything like it. I think the only player I can think of is like Sayonara, you know. But I feel like Cozy just being a duelist is gonna have a very, very long career, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very successful. So for me to be his first coach as well is actually a privilege, and I'm very happy that he chose to join us, because you know he was the best duelist out on the market, and I think every Tier 2 team wanted to get him, but then in the end he chose this project, so I'm really happy we have him.
Yeah, I mean, you've always been great at scouting new talents. I know that people hate to throw around comparisons, but I'm going to do one anyway. You previously had Kiko, right? And I think that's another player who we saw break out on Duelist, has that flexibility about him. How does Cozy compare to him in some ways? Is he, you know, as vocal maybe? Is he that kind of guy? Or what is it different maybe that he brings to this team that you haven't had in teams before?
I think compared to Kiko had better communication for sure, but Kiko already had a season in Tier 2 before he joined Apex, or before I coached him in Apex. So I would say like Kiko had better communication, but Cozy is a lot more versatile in terms of his agent pool. So he can play every single duelist on a very, very high level, and I think with Kiko we didn't have that back in the days.
Yeah, 100%. And another question: what's it like to like kind of maybe a little bit away from like the kind of team, but how is it like to rejoin up with like Shadow and Magnum again, and kind of like be almost back with like an Apex core in a way?
I think it's very nice. You know, after the year I had last season, I was even thinking about quitting a little bit, and you know, the moment I heard that I can work with Magnum again, I was very happy, because you know I value him. I rate him very high, and I knew that with him we can build a really good team. And then Shadow was the last addition to the team, and I'm really happy that we have him, because, you know, I feel like me and him, we had, even when working on Apex, we had a very similar understanding and vision of the game. So we didn't have to have this sort of transitional period where you need to align with your assistant coach and just make sure that you guys are seeing the game in the same way. We didn't have that. Me and Shadow just started working flawlessly from like the first day.
I imagine it's got to be quite funny working as a coach with someone that you previously coached yourself, but it definitely helps in that situation. One more from me. How are you guys feeling sort of about the calendar this year in general, right? Because you came out of EMEA Clash, more reps against VCT teams. You've got to be happy with that, but at the same time, I think it's fair to say that sometimes you can get a little bit burnt out if there's lots of officials. It adds a strength to other teams if they want to prepare around some of those VODs too. How are you approaching some of those potential issues looking later into the year, of course, as your goal is going to be play-ins for VCT?
Well, our goal is champs, but anyway.
One step, you have to play play-ins to get playoffs to get champs.
Of course. Well, for us, I feel like the schedule was extra hard. Back in 2023 with Apex, we played 23 or 26 games, something like this, and I feel like we already played 25 games this season so far. Yeah. We had like a couple of weeks in a row where we had 4 or 5 games every week, and this was very tough on the players. On top of that, we had to divide the playtime between Cozy and Swagzor, because after all, our goal is challengers that's coming up right now, and we had to be very well prepared. In Clash, not only that we have to play a lot of games there, but we were also scrimming during the day, so we had like normal scrim days, and then we were going into the official, so it was very long days. And I mean, that's why you see some like dips in performance in the team, because it's just impossible to keep your performance high when you have this many games. And I'm very happy with how the team is handling it. We had a lot of talks in terms of like mental, how we prepare for the officials, how we approach them, and we came to the understanding that like sometimes we're gonna make mistakes, sometimes we're gonna throw rounds, maybe even maps, maybe even whole series, but every time we do that, we come back stronger, and I'm very happy with that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ito. It's been great to catch up with you and get all your insights. And I wish you best of luck for Challengers EMEA.
Thank you.
Awesome, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, look, he's going to be absolutely buzzing, man. Enterprise are farming, Arsenal are top of the league. He has all of his wishes this year.
Yeah, he does. I don't have all of mine, and neither do you, Hazza. That's the problem that we've got here, mate. But with that being said, I think this has been a pretty good best of 5 grand final. Ended up very quickly, but there was a few good contests in there.
Yeah, look, the Liquid performance does leave quite a bit to be desired, but from the Enterprise perspective, checking every box, in my eyes at least. I think the split was a tone setter, and you didn't want to read into that as a sign of what was to come, but especially after Corrode, I think it's so difficult to mentally reset there when you lose your map pick at that stage in the series. We know Liquid had a good map pool here. It's not like they were completely played off the park in maps that they couldn't contend in. We know they had that potential, but Enterprise just showed a different level here, and I think that's lending and speaking volumes of the experience that they have in these situations, the titles they've already won domestically, and what their ambitions for the year are. I sort of laid it up for Ito to talk about champs in the end, but he just sort of went straight to it, like no, we're not fighting for play-ins, not playoffs, we're going straight to champs, and that's the mentality I think you've got to succeed with this roster.
Yeah, I agree, and I think as well, like, the thing that Ito has over all the coaches here is he's been to top 3 in champs, right? He has that experience, so that's the one thing. I mean, I guess Bacon's probably the only one that could possibly contend with that in terms of his own performance and teams at champs, but it's definitely a different like kind of battle, and when it comes to that, Challengers EMEA up next, and that's where all eyes will be placed for these teams.
Yeah, let's take one final look at our playoffs bracket for stage 1 and just Speak a little bit about some of the teams that we're going to be seeing in Challengers EMEA. Of course, Enterprise, your champions. They'll go in as first seed, followed by Liquid Academy, Pixel Lumina, and MIR as well. 3 returning faces from the last time we held one of those events, but MIR are new, and I have to say, I wonder if they, you know, sort of how they're going to do, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see some new faces come into the mix. Excited to see Pixel Lumina as well, to be honest, as I really like their roster. Excited to see Lear and what he can do for them. And like a kind of a top of EMA, essentially, like a kind of dummy Ascension run, right? So we'll see exactly how that looks. But as for Team Liquid Academy and Enterprises, these are rosters that I expect to be in the later stages of that Challengers EMEA, because for what it seems like all of last year, we never really had that top contender team.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, look, we had the old Enterprise roster, there's a new one here, and they're looking, I don't want to say levels above the old one, but they're definitely in the kind of form right now that puts you in those conversations. It took until the end of last year, really, to get the best of the old Enterprise, and even then at Ascension, unfortunately for them, it wasn't exactly what they were looking for. But there you go, some new competitors in Challengers in EMEA, some old rivalries as well popping up here in the grand final, but a similar result is where we end. Enterprise now 4-time champions, Liquid still left searching for their second. We're gonna see if they can find it in some weeks and months time, of course, as we're back on hiatus for the conclusion of Masters, with Challengers EMEA coming up at the end of the month. Any closing thoughts from yourself, Cairo, before we say goodbye?
Enterprise to champs.
Enterprise to champs. We shall see, of course. Thank you everyone for watching. I've been Hazza, of course, joined alongside Cairo yet again. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and goodbye for now.